Like right now, I think we should be... Yeah, we did it. We're on the internet. Go team.
Huzzah!
Yeah! So, I'll go ahead and create a lobby for now, I guess, unless... I don't know if Jim already put one up.
I have not yet.
Neat? No, not anyone can join. Buddies only.
Your friends' lobbies usually pop up right to the top.
That's fair.
DudeEsquire.
That's me. I'm that guy.
I feel like my profile picture is misleading because I got it when I was only playing Trostani.
That doesn't
Now
matter.
I'm playing a dragon deck.
Mine's some weird marble sculpture that looks all like, I don't know, attempted holy, but I'm playing
It's like stoic.
disrupt the battlefield tribal right now.
Jim, that looks like some sort of on fire cat
It's true.
or ancient.
I forget what the card is.
All right,
Not
let's
a
see
cat,
how this
though.
goes.
We're
Close
in.
enough.
is a bad hand.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this will do.
This is an
Maybe.
awful hand, but we're going to keep it because I have 2 ramp spells in it and it seems like fun.
I think I can still actually play this. I'm not going to, though. Take the free mulligan. Yeah, this is better.
Neat. I like how it makes me stop at the beginning of combat because we're all going to have so many responses right now.
Well,
Seems
not a
good.
bad turn 1.
Seems good.
It gets better.
Are you going into a signet? Oh, prismatic lens. Very nice.
Come on. Oh, all right. It's like, what are you doing now?
Why would I have a signet? It's a monocolor deck.
Right.
Which
Actually,
one? Oh yeah, this is the
got
green one.
Yorvo, green for a 0/0, but he enters the battlefield with 4+1/+1 counters, and whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under his control, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Then, if that creature's power is still greater than Yorvo's power, Yorvo gets another +1/+1 counter.
I think I've seen this card when I was playing Standard or Modern or whatever on the other Magic
And yeah,
platform.
Ryan, you've got
it
the
came out without
Dragon.
green.
See, Ryan, you have the Dragon. Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the thing on it, but he's the one with the eminence that just makes dragons cheaper. And then while he's on board, you get to draw as many cards as there are attacking dragons, then put a permanent onto the battlefield from your hand. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem. We'll be fine.
I think the one thing I'm trying to figure out with this deck is how many creatures do you think I should have in here? Right now I've got, I think, like 25, and I'm wondering if I should up that.
The general rule, if you're playing what they call a tribal deck, which is kind of like what you're doing, where it's like the main synergy, the main strategy is really fixated around the creatures that are in the deck. The base logic, if I remember correctly, is that the deck should be 50% creatures. So if you're playing a 60 card deck, you should have 30 creatures. If you're playing a 100 card deck, it should be 50 creatures.
Oh
And
shit.
since the Dragon feeds off of having dragons be cast and having dragons attack, I would say the majority of those, if not all of them, should be dragons, or creatures with the ability Changeling, which gives them all creature types.
Okay, yeah, I gotta up that then.
So see how it works now. It could be because I know dragons tend to be bigger, you might be able to get away with less, both because they're harder to cast and because they can do more damage on their own. You might not need to have a million little creatures, but
I would do at least 30 and then support.
if you're around 25, that's good enough to start now. So your opening hand probably had somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 dragons, just based off that math. And then you'll be able to get more as you play. I don't know what all you put in there, but there's some good cards. There's even a couple planeswalkers whose whole synergy is like built around the idea of search up dragons and play them. Like look up the character Sarkhan, if you're not familiar. He's got some really good dragon type synergy.
Actually, I bought 2 different Sarkhan planeswalkers, but I didn't actually even put them in the deck for some reason.
They can be helpful though, because they kind of, especially if they let you look for dragons, they can sort of help fill the role of what you're going to be missing.
Yeah,
because like you can use them to tutor out a dragon or something to that effect.
the thing is, like with 5 colors, I just get so tempted to put in like all the different staples of each color. Like I'm thinking, well, I've got access to green, so I've got to get some mana ramp in here.
Yeah.
I've got blue, so I want some counters.
I went through the same.
You wanted mana ramp? Here you go. Turn 3 Cage Sun.
I have Cage Sun, not out on turn 3.
I will say, if you want sometime either on stream, if you want to do like a deck building session, I think that could be kind of fun, or just in general, I can break down my sliver deck, because the way that I structured it, I have that alternate art Ur-Dragon that you have as your commander with the cool kind of weirdish looking art from Justine Jones. It was one of the secret lair prints, and I do have that exact same artwork here at home. So my original thought with the sliver deck was that I built kind of like a generic tribal framework, so it's not as synergistic with slivers as it could have been. But the way that I built it is that I could pull all of the sliver creatures out of the deck and just drop in a shitload of dragons and then be like, sweet, it's dragon tribal now, and it should theoretically run fine. So if you have any interest in it, I could kind of break down my sliver deck a little bit. I don't want to show you all of the secrets necessarily, because it's kind of fun to have a few hidden weapons, but I could definitely show you some of the stuff that I've been using in that deck.
I would like that. Yeah, we could do it either on screen or off. I would be down either way.
Whatever you'd like. Donnie was saying that he has been having trouble finding it, but for Christmas there's a webcam that he was hoping to try and get for me to use for stream stuff. So I am kind of, no, I don't want to say waiting on that. That makes it sound like it's like a problem. It's definitely not. But like, I'm currently holding off on stuff until I get that. But that camera, the way it's going to work is I'll actually be able to do paper magic on my desktop after this. So I could do like a deck tech sort of thing on a stream or in just a video call with you if you have any interest. Okay.
Yeah.
Here comes the guy.
That was quick.
Yorvo. I mean, it's turn 4 and he's a 3-drop, but still, Jim's got a lot of open mana left.
And I've got support online. So,
yeah.
It's helpful.
I found that balancing the mana wasn't that tough in this. Just because, like, I think lands are cheap on Card Hoarder.
Yeah. It's difficult in paper because one of the things that's really expensive. Well, because like one of the things you really kind of need are fetch lands, because they really let you kind of dig out any 2 mana combination you need that shares a little bit of common ground with one of the types that it's meant to search. Online, they're not as bad as they are in person, because like there's fetch lands that are over $100 for one card.
Are you familiar with these thriving cards? Because I think they're pretty. I mean, like they enter tapped, but
yeah,
they basically can be any color. Like I have all 5 of them in here. It's just,
there's those, and there are ones that use the word vivid. So it'd be like vivid stream, for example, or like vivid marsh. What they do is they enter tapped like that. They enter with 2 charge counters, and then you can tap it to add a base color. So like the vivid marsh is black, so you can tap it for a black. Or you can tap it and remove a charge counter to add a mana of any color. So they're kind of like 2 shots of any color, and then they basically just act like a swamp. So there are some good cards out there to kind of do a little bit of color fixing. I would really recommend, if you're not running it already, Chromatic Lantern. It makes it so that every land has tap, add a mana of any color, which is awesome. Extraordinarily helpful when you're trying to balance 5 colors on a budget. Yeah. It's not too bad. I should probably cast some spells soon, huh?
Yeah, that commander would be cool.
I mean, he's coming off next.
Attacking, because it's really early and I feel like that'd be me.
Yeah, so what I've been looking for, what do we got here? Yeah, seems good. Gold counter on the Horde. That's not bad. It's a mana rock that just has some like free card draw built into it. That's awesome. So I'll be honest, I was digging using all of those like different ramp cards to find my colors for my commander.
the end of your turn, right? Not everyone's turn.
Correct. Yep. So
Yeah,
it's about to happen now. The end of my turn, their ability triggers. I draw a card. Then everyone gets the opportunity to play a land from their hand, and then everyone who fails to play a land draws a card, except me. I don't get 2 draws, no matter what.
Man, do I have available? Green, blue, white, blue, any. Yeah, any.
I messed up the order on that.
These things happen. Your commander's already in 8-8 though, so I'm sure that's going to be fun.
Yeah, Jim could give me the business right now.
That was really kind of the big problem that I was having trouble solving with the Dragon Commander deck I'd been working on, because I really liked how the Sliver deck came out. But the problem is there are a lot of 1, 2, and 3 drop slivers out there, so early turns really aren't a problem. With dragons, they're all like 5+, except for a couple.
I couldn't find any, like, I think there's like 2 dragons in my entire deck that are less than like a 4-drop.
There are cards out there. I don't know if you have the ability to Google right now, but there's a card called Metallic Mimic, for example. It's like, I think it's a 2-drop artifact. It's a 2/2. Says
when it runs it in almost everything.
Yeah, when it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, so in this case, dragons. And it says Metallic Mimic is the chosen type in addition to its other type, so it counts as a dragon. And it says whenever a creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, if it's under your control. So it's cheap.
That's a good card.
It could be an early game play. It has some synergy for a tribal deck, and it's color agnostic, so you don't need to make sure that you get red early to be able to cast it. It casts off anything. There are a lot of shapeshifters that have all creature types, some of which might be kind of helpful. Ways to kind of fill in the lower ones.
So you have access to them all?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you have access to all of those, and they might be able to fill in some of your earlier turns and some of your cheaper mana costs as needed.
That's plan moving forward.
Yeah, so I'm just throwing that out there, because like obviously my deck hasn't really been doing a whole lot in the early turns, but neither is yours, and Jim's in a position where he could start removing players in the next turn or two if he wanted to.
Yeah, if I wanted to, I could kill someone in 2 turns right now.
Yeah.
I'm holding off because Ryan's testing his deck, and I was not expecting to pop off this much. Usually I don't.
And I will be honest, worst case scenario, if we have to end up running another game, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's going to be the end of the world if we have to run, like, because what is it? Usually we manage to fit in 2. We have to do 3, we have to do 3. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, with 3 players, I expect them to be a little bit faster, too.
That's true. They'll just be more restrained from the get-go.
I will say that Garruk's Uprising was a real blessing in this game.
Yeah, that's the enchantment. Let me read it really quick. Just cantrip if you control a big creature, gives everything trample, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters battlefield under your control, draw a card. Holy heck, man.
With Cage Sun, it's a lot easier to hit those 4 powers.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I'm wasting this card, so I don't have anything in my graveyard. That's neato.
Yay! Group hug.
Lands do you think would make sense in this deck?
I usually run somewhere in like the 33 to 38 range and then couple it with like 5 to 7 ramp spells if I can.
I've got 36 in here right now. I think I have too
Yeah,
much.
I run 35 as a minimum. If I have a lot of ramp, I'll drop that to 34. For a 5 color, I'd probably run 37 lands.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, that makes sure that you don't get mana screwed. And depending on the deck you're up against, like Kynaios and Tiro here are going to let you keep playing lands for free too, so you'll be able to get them out of your hand fast.
Cool.
All right, what are we doing here?
Or if you only have one land in hand, you can keep that for your turn and take the expert draw.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really good.
Not quite what I had in mind. All right, well, I guess it's time to start discarding to hand size.
I think that's one nice thing about green.
Mana's just always there.
Yeah, you generally don't have to discard the hand size in green.
I have 9 in hand. Ouch. So you got me curious. If you didn't put too many dragons in that deck, I think you said it was somewhere around 25 creatures. What the heck else are you running, man?
There's just like a lot of I've got a couple like counter spells. I've got like the normal white exile stuff. There's some green ramp in here. I have actually I have a good bit of like enchantments, which feels like overkill. There's a decent amount of artifacts that do stuff for like dragons, like the Dragon's Horde. I have a bunch of cards kind of in that vein.
Yeah.
I think I just need to cut back on some of it. Like I feel like I don't need the counter spells.
Don't get me wrong, they're nice to have, but are they counter spells that require 2 blue mana? For example, there's a spell out there called Swan Song, which costs a single blue, and it lets you counter target. What is it?
Actually,
Sorcery.
I have Swan Song in here.
Yeah,
I have Swan Song and then counter spell.
I like Swan Song for 5 color decks. I'm questioning if cards like Counterspell, just because it requires 2 blue to be open and you don't necessarily have a way to guarantee you'll have access to that much blue.
Yeah.
But like I do like having things like that in there. I like having things like Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, but that's my building style a little bit. I don't like what you could do is look up like the Dragon builds and see if other people also do that or if it's just me being weird.
In red, there's also Chaos Warp, which is a good. You can help yourself out if you need to, if you're in a bind as well.
That's true. Yeah,
I've seen Donnie do some crazy stuff with Chaos Warp.
Yeah, Chaos
Like right
Warp.
now, I have 4 lands in hand.
Chaos Warp has the owner of target permanent shuffle it into their library and then reveal the top card of their library. If the revealed card is a permanent, they put that card onto the battlefield. So you could just like stab a land and flip it into possibly a dragon or something like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's 2 and a red.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Or if someone's being exceedingly threatening, you can get rid of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm looking at Jim's 14-14 commander and thinking, I could Chaos Warp that.
14-14 trample.
Yeah. The smallish threat. Ryan, in addition to Quicksilver Amulet, if you don't have the ability to look it up right now, try writing down the name Dragon's Arch.
Dragon's Arch, yeah, I'm gonna look that up real quick.
It's like a 5-drop. Pay 2 and tap it to put a multicolored creature from your hand onto the battlefield. So it's a little more upfront, but cheaper on the back end. It's like Quicksilver Amulet.
It's actually, yeah, it'd be better in this deck.
I mean, put both in. That way you can guarantee you get one, or at least double the odds that you'll pull one.
Yeah, it's in Commander, so you're locked into only having one of each card. It's often good to run duplicate effects.
Exactly. Let's see here. Ooh, it's my turn. Hang on, I've got like my the headphones I'm using for this elected to die out of nowhere earlier, so I just finished charging them up. What are we doing? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do one of these.
And I am popping Teferi, but that's in hopes that you're not going to smack me with it.
I mean, I'm literally using him to draw cards.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He looks scary with his -8. I have not used his -8 and don't really intend to unless shit gets way out of hand.
Putting extra counters on him helps you keep your card draw, though. So.
That's true.
That -8 is insane.
Oh, -8's
Yeah, it's
really
scary.
cool. And it's really, really cool because I have cards in here that will let me draw like 15, 20 cards in a turn.
It's like the most roundabout but effective board wipe.
It works because people don't necessarily see the two pieces of it coming together.
Yeah, it's like
He can also just mill you out if he chooses. Group hug's nice like that.
oh boy.
It's more to keep me safe than anything else.
Why are you worried, Ryan?
That's true. I should
All
be
your
worried pretty much
creatures have
about everything.
flying, and so we can't block them.
Fair. Yeah, I like that combo with Bower Passage, or however you say that.
Actually, I do have reach in here on 1 or 2 cards, so I probably could block you, but
I think I gotta start looking up some cheaper dragons.
That's the problem, is there's not a whole lot of them. Best place you're going to find some is from the set Dragons of Tarkir. So that was the set that had like the highest ratio of dragon creatures, so they needed to have some of them be cheaper, but there's still not a whole ton in there, and they're not necessarily great, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, is when you cut the mana cost, you have to give something up.
I just keep drawing lands. Wait, count how many I have in here real quick.
Let me
37 lands. I'm gonna dump that number down. Wait, that's the wrong deck. 36 lands.
start buffing my Death Touch.
Yeah.
This Trample Death Touch is just good.
Yeah, that is quite the board you've got over there.
It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
I mean, if something starts happening to it, I'm gonna start swinging.
I mean, that's the problem is I definitely don't have anything to make happen to it. I'm sort of weaponless right now. So we're just gonna let Ryan have fun with his with his deck.
And that's where I'm at. Like, I probably could kill Ryan right now, but it's way more fun to let him see what his deck does.
And just know that you hold the bat that ends people's lives.
Yes.
I feel like I've just gotten a disproportionate amount of lands. Like, of all the lands I have both on the battlefield and in my hand, I have 11.
Yeah.
Out of the 17 cards that I've drawn.
And an important point:
feels like
when
an
you play
anomaly.
lands with Uranos, it doesn't count as playing the land, so you don't hit landfall triggers.
Yeah, it's so my commander doesn't say they may play a land, it says they put a land from their hand onto the battlefield. And cards that have the landfall ability say whenever you play a land, so they don't trigger off of that put.
Yeah, there are a few cards that say when a land enters the battlefield under your control, and those cards are really good.
Yeah, you just want to read carefully what they have to say.
Yeah.
Actually, I think landfall specifically does say it that way. I think it's some of the other ones. Like there was
Oh my god.
some sort of card that Marios had put out that was like whenever a player plays a land, they draw a card. And that one was not triggering, yeah.
But I'd rather take the draw right now,
That's fair.
because I can just slowly trickle out my lands. But that's also like the lose life versus dealt damage difference. Hey, thanks for the life gain, Ryan.
Way to help.
We're reaching
There's
the... Sorry, go ahead.
There's actually a whole set of the those artifacts from Magic 2012. There's one for each color. And if it's a monocolor deck, I tend to run it just because that extra bit of life gain helps.
That's true. Yeah, we're reaching the point where Jim could just be like, I'm going to send Yorvo at someone and they're just going to die.
Well, I mean, even if I draw absolutely no creatures, he's going to get +1 every turn from tapping.
Yeah.
Presence of God.
Wow.
And that's why it's in here. It's just a good way to keep picking that up.
Jim, if you want to kill me this turn, I have no qualms about that. I just want to...
You want to see the commander do its thing?
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. There's a little bit of a debate about commanders with eminence for like when you should or should not play them because they offer you a passive ability. And once they hit the board, they become vulnerable to stuff that can turn their abilities off. You know what I mean? Like let's pretend I imprison that one in the moon. You don't get the discount or the attack bonus anymore.
Well, I think the best example of that is Aloro.
Yep.
His ability is such that it's almost never worth playing him.
Now his on the battlefield ability isn't bad if I remember correctly, but his...
Yeah, but it's not worth the risk because his eminence effect is just good.
Yeah, there was a game like that with Marios where Aloro got returned to his hand. Like this was really like early in our play group with Commander, but when Aloro got returned to his hand, we it was me, I take responsibility. I destroyed all of his black mana sources so he couldn't cast it anymore. And then it was stuck in his hand, so he lost all of his life gain and wasn't able to cast like a third of the spells in the deck.
And if I recall, he finally had enough to get it out, and then you mooned him.
Yep. Yeah, it did not take too terribly long for that to wrap up after that, but that's the whole thing, is like Alara would have been like way more valuable to Marios in the command zone, just never reaching the battlefield, you know?
And the other example is the vampire one. He's often better to just play out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get those attack bonuses. Ooh, party beers. Now, did you draw Smothering Type with
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're usually pretty good about optimal play lines.
That was my second draw for the turn. My second, like, I drew something else off Jace, and then Teferi resolved second, then I drew Smothering Tithe, so I was like, okay. We'll play it at the end of the turn, it's fine.
Suboptimal, but still really good.
It works. I'm not, like, mad at it or anything.
And in a group hug deck, you're often gonna get all those triggers.
Yeah, people feel less aggressive with me because I'm being nice.
Now, first time for everything, I'm actually gonna pay it just because I have so much mana up.
No, that's fair. I mean, it makes sense to pay it when you can.
Don't ever pay it.
I mean,
I know
it's 1 mana, and it's a single use 1 mana. Like, it's good, and there are ways that decks can take advantage of it, but it's not like it's as good as, like, Rhystic Study, where you're drawing cards or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's more annoying than anything. That Dragon art is so pretty in person, because the foiling on it just makes it look so, like, the way the wings light up, it's really, really cool.
What do you think of Slumbering Dragon?
I'd need to look it up. Give me just a second. Actually, pulling it up on screen here. The Slumbering Dragon's a 1-drop red dragon. It says it can't attack or block unless it has 5 or more +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, put a counter on it. So basically can't attack until it's an 8/8, which is pretty alright. It's one of those things where I like it, but it kind of makes threats early, so it wouldn't surprise me if by the time it's going to attack, someone's used a removal spell on it. But there is another half to that idea, and that is that somebody's going to waste a removal on it.
Yeah, I was thinking more just like as an early...
Yeah, I mean, you'll put it
move.
down early, but like, you're not going to be able to block with it, you know? So like, it's going to be a good early move, but it's not going to be the kind of early move that like saves the day.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a distraction, or it's not, and you're going to eventually have an 8/8 that can swing, but it lets you use like your early turn mana where you're basically just sitting there waiting until you hit 7 or 8 mana. So I'd say go for it.
Think of that card you told me, the Sylvia Bright Spear.
Mm-hmm.
You think I should add that? I feel like if I'm looking for creatures as is, even though it's not a dragon,
If it's
really
synergistic,
benefits.
yeah.
And I
Okay,
like to
so
wait
I
until
got-
Yorvo's big enough to.
Do you have travel?
one-hit
You
kill
do have
people.
travel. Oh boy. All right. Well.
It's got, yeah, so that's going to have you at 20 commander.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Ryan said I could kill him now, so.
That's fair.
I'd have Yorvo a lot bigger, but I keep drawing garbage.
I mean, 22/22 is not exactly small.
I could have him up to 30.
That's fair.
So I'm not drawing any big creatures, so Garruk Uprising's not really getting any value anymore.
Yeah. These things happen, man.
That would be really good. Ryan.
Oh.
Do you have Garruk's Uprising in your Dragon deck?
It's the green enchantment he has in the back row.
That'd be really good in your Dragon deck.
When Grixis Uprising enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control trample. Another creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, that is pretty good.
All that for only 3 mana.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
And it's the kind of card
bad.
that generates value, but doesn't, like, trample can be scary, but it doesn't immediately threaten all the time, so people might not even feel compelled to waste removal on it. So you might be able to just draw a bunch of cards off of it without people really paying much attention to you.
2, 3, 4, 5.
And it's card draw at no cost, which is a really big thing.
Yeah.
I think I have enough for this. We'll find out.
That is a card that I very much want to get for my Sliver deck in paper, but it's kind of pricey.
I think it was like $8 just for online.
Yeah. The ones that I did wind up running were Kindred Dominance, which is choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that are not of the chosen type.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I forget what that was another Kindred one that I chose. The green one, maybe?
That's where it's fun to be running a because I want to do a changeling tribal deck,
Mm-hmm.
and that'd be really fun in that, because then you can choose whatever obscure creature type isn't at the table.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Another land.
Thank you.
Well, this is probably going to be my last turn.
I mean, Jim could turn around and smack me for some large amount of damage instead of you.
Jim, are you swinging at me or Evan or both?
Haven't decided yet, but I'm getting to a point where I could probably attack you with Yorvo, swing out at Evan, and win.
Well, I'm probably just going to swing at you then.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're probably going to... Well, you're definitely going to kill me on your next turn.
I mean, if he does what he's suggesting there, yeah.
I mean, I'm threatening lethal, and there's not much you can do about it, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't have many choices here. Hopefully I draw something. Come on, no lands.
Well, even if you draw something, you're out of mana.
I can use their Dragon's Effect that maybe could do something.
True. That's always the problem with dragon decks. They're so mana heavy.
Did you hardcast Savage Ventmaw, or did you Quicksilver it in?
He hardcast it.
Gotcha.
Which I find odd, because it doesn't have anything that cares about casting, so...
It was probably just one of those, he's not used to playing Quicksilver things. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I've made many of that exact same mistake in decks before. So.
Me as
Wait,
well.
Say what?
Oh, yeah, I'm a dummy.
Yeah, you're good. You paid 6 for your dragon when you could have paid 4 off the Quicksilver amulet. Really doesn't matter. But yes. No, it's waiting for me to trigger those. Or no, it's not. I guess it's waiting for RK34 to do a thing. Ooh, fancy. What kind of permanent? Yeah. Yeah, it seems good.
Man.
Thank you.
This is definitely
Thank
a
you.
card that I don't need to have in here.
Kindred Discovery?
No, I have Cyclonic Rift.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it could be helpful, but right now it would just... actually, it could do some damage.
Like, it's... it's not like an early game type of play. I feel like I don't really have any of those. Like all my
It
plays
can
are like
be,
late game plays.
Because you can Cyclonic Rift a single target for 2. So
Yeah,
if
but that's
you
boring.
need to, well, let's pretend shit's getting crazy. It's like turn 4 and Jim's commander's already like an 11-11 and swinging at people.
That's
You
true.
could turn around and just rift that one card to reset its power toughness growth.
That's fair.
It's something
that's
like
always
that.
the tough part with Yorvo. If you blank him or any, he's so. It's easy to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's very powerful, but very vulnerable. He doesn't have any kind of hexproof or anything, and his power resets big time if he gets removed from the battlefield, which is a little rough.
Honestly, Cyclonic Rifting my whole board versus just Cyclonic Rifting Yorvo. I prefer you do the whole board because then I can rebuild pretty quickly.
That's true.
Just because the type of deck it is. Whereas if you just do Yorvo, I'm out all that power and no way to get it back.
All right, let's see what you guys do about this.
Spoiler alert, I do nothing.
I mean, you have to make a
I
choice.
Probably do nothing as well.
Oh. Right, well.
Is it the timer? Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Allow me to clarify, Ryan, because the text is a little wordy. So it says, starting with me, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, I take an extra turn after this one. So if all 3 of us vote for time, I take 3 extra turns after this one. For each money vote, I choose a permanent owned by that voter and gain control of it. So you guys are now going to choose how many turns or things I get for the like after this turn.
Oh boy, okay.
So do you want to let me take 2 turns in a row after this one?
Do you get control of it permanently or just for...
Permanently, until it leaves the battlefield, at which point it'll go to like your graveyard or your command zone.
Oh, so you want a forest, don't you?
I might. I do happen to like the color green. I think it's very relaxing.
I kind of want to see what you'll do with this.
Whereas where I'm at, I can't afford him taking my commander, so I don't really have a choice. Because my commander's big enough at this point that he could kill me.
If you were to take my commander and attack Jim with it, would that be 10 more commander damage on top of the 10 he has, or would it be 10 new commander damage? Or none
10
at all?
more on what's there.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same commander.
That would be hilarious.
But I'm thinking I want this.
Jim, I do really like your deck though. I feel like it'd be a fun one to do with like with Trostani, just to see like both just grow crazy.
Yep.
And just
Yeah, I
sit back.
really enjoy it.
That's why I love green, is because like you can just kind of make your side of like the just like the playing field like very big very quickly, and then just kind of sit back and let people do stuff.
Yep.
The average CMC of this is like 2.3 or something. It's real low.
That is low.
Well, the idea behind that is after I get Yorvo out, I want to be able to rapid fire as many spells as I can.
Mm-hmm.
The only things that are big are things that also bring in other creatures, not just one creature.
Cool.
How come you took the event mall?
When I attack, I get mana.
I mean, you've got a million tokens.
I have like 10 drop spells in my hand that I want to cast.
More mana is never a bad thing.
Plus, I feel icky permanently stealing a player's commander.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
So, unless I'm planning on ending it like now, I typically won't do that.
Which, I mean, with 3 extra turns, and I have no way to block flying, you could.
That's 2 extra turns. Ryan gave me a dragon instead of a turn.
That'd still be enough to kill me, because I'm at 10 commander.
So here's the thing.
Ryan.
Yes, I can probably end it now. The question is, does that make me a jerk since Jim literally has been sitting on lethal for like 4 turns and hasn't done anything with it?
I mean, not. Honestly, like, I looked at that game as Jim probably could have won it earlier.
Oh, easily.
This was being nice to me.
Yeah, I wanted to see how it played out. Turn 5, if I had started attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been
over.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been dead very quickly. Sorry, I'm taking a second here. I'm like between turns. I'm trying to like edit my current deck to get out some cards that have no purpose in here.
No, you're good,
You're
man.
fine.
Like, I just think the lack of creatures is glaring.
Green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have a life, Jim.
Jim, these are all like budget builds for you too, right? Like, you just
Yeah.
yeah, that's impressive.
I think between everyone, I've gotten like Tom on my first deck on here was Blue Boo. He gave me like 15 or 20 ticks worth. And then I got like my entire collection. I've only spent like 30 ticks or something.
I gave you a few and you used them all for that, or at least a lot of it for that one blue architect deck. I don't know if you remember. I like that thing. It's very specific in what it did.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of tuning in that deck, and it's not amazing, but if I get the nut hand, that deck goes infinite.
Love it.
There's 3 or 4 different ways to go infinite in that deck.
Just checking to see if I had any ticks I could give you. Do you guys know how to check that?
Yeah. Go to your collection.
Collection item.
And then other products.
Makes sense. I actually probably still have the ticks it gave me when I first bought Magic Online.
Oh, I have 2 packs?
You should crack them.
Yeah, come on, dragons.
That's also where like your icon
Oh no, it's a demon.
or your avatars are. Stuff like that.
That's not a bad card. Acropolis Fiend. I have 2 ticks if you want them, Jim.
Sure. That's a great example of what Chaos Warp's good for. He's got a lot of treasure tokens. So he bend one to get a Sunfolger or whatever that is.
I have Chaos Warp in here too, which also feels unnecessary. Like, I just put a lot of good instants in here in each color. Plus I've got like Vampiric Tutor.
There is I can't remember if it's a Planeswalker or an enchantment, but there is a card that goes, I think it's an enchantment, that goes infinite with Savage Ventmaw. It's 5 mana, and you get an extra combat step.
Neat.
And all of your creatures untap.
I might have that in this deck.
With the 2 of them, it's 1 mana per
wow,
round.
I didn't. Jesus,
And
I didn't
it's-
even see that Eldrazi you played. That's a heck of a card. Well, 12 with Menace. Jeez.
And discard a card. Counter spell.
You can do that at instant speed.
Yep.
Obviously, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, so as long as he has a spell that has a higher CMC, he can counter anything he wants.
That's nuts.
Which I know Evan sits on some high CMC stuff, so
That has to be exactly whatever is being played, right? It's like if I play a 7-drop, he has to have a 7-drop. Exactly.
I definitely did not read that card very correctly, but that's okay.
oh yeah. You're right. Me being greedy, taking all these extra draws.
Do it.
Reliquary Tower.
Well, with Rites of Flourishing out, I don't need the I didn't need the extra land to begin with. But
I think I'm going to put Dragon Egg in.
Do it, man.
Basically just tokens. But it's something.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Kill me!
I was ready to wrap it up, and then you took 3 extra turns.
I was having fun. Sue me.
Yeah, no, it's a good time.
Red.
I do kind of want you to see what's in my hand, though.
That.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
At least do me with my own commander, and then swing everything else at Ryan.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, that was... Wait, how does that work? You can die by your own commander lethal?
Yeah.
It just has to be 21 or more damage from the same commander. It does not matter whose commander it is.
That's
so yes,
nuts.
someone can take your commander and kill you with it.
But also, Yorvo's very close to being able to do my total health. He could just crap out a couple lands, and he would have it big enough.
Evan, I don't think I've either played or seen you play a game with this deck that you haven't used Insurrection.
I've
Yeah.
seen him do 2 games without it, but the thing is, he draws through so many cards that he can just
He
play
just
whatever
gets-
he wants from his deck.
That's cool though. Like I feel like that you kind of get a lot of consistency out of the deck when you can just draw the entire thing by turn 10 or 11.
Card advantage, man.
All right, let's see how much ouch happens here. Ooh. Seems good. Seems good.
Never look down on card
good.
advantage.
Seems good. Seems good. I'll take that.
On my
mana,
turn, I
please.
was going to play out another Caged Sun.
Oh, and you're gonna get to put a permanent onto the field.
I'll play a Consecrated Sphinx. No big deal.
That was a good game, though.
Yes.
And yeah, I like the deck, Ryan. Definitely needs some tuning.
Just needs to have more creatures. I did get a little bit insanely, like, it's just insane the amount of lands that I'm currently holding and are on the field, but yeah, we need more creatures.
All right, so Jim's going to die from just his own commander. Let's see how far below 0 Ryan goes.
It's gonna be a good bit. Minus 63, oh my god.
All right, now I have to take a quick break real quick. I'll be back before the next game starts, hopefully.
Seems good. I mean, yeah, obviously you have to join the lobby for it to start.
Well, yeah, but like bathroom and stuff.
Oh, no, take your time. Well, Ryan and I will chat about stuff for a minute because of
Sounds good.
we are humans.
Be right back.
The reasoning is spot on.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna switch over to Trostani for a game.
Do it.
Don't want your viewers to think I'm totally trash.
Well, we were pretty clear that that was a deck test going in, and I like what it did.
Yeah,
It just needs a little more stabilizing.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
Like-
that was fun. Yeah, honestly, I think just an increase to the number of creatures is going to be big for you.
Yeah, like if I don't draw one of, like, I'll either have maybe 1, 2 max dragons in hand at a time, and they'll be like 6 or 7 drops, which are brought down by 1 by the commander, but it's still, if I don't get lucky and get a few creatures early with ramp, then I could be in trouble.
So here's my advice for you. I would say, for now, change the deck. Take out all of the counter spells, the cyclonic rifts, all of the crap that is good, even like Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares. Cut all of the removal, cut most, if not all of the interaction, just trim it down to nothing and replace all of it with ramp spells. Just put in Kodama's Reach, Cultivate, Farseek, everything that you can think of that's going to let you find lands and play them.
I've actually got a good bit of that. I've got
You should have
Farseek, Rampant Growth, Sylvan Library,
ramp
Cultivate,
spells. Yeah, we're looking for like 15
Mana
plus.
Crypt, Soul Ring. I mean, I'm close. I've got.
To be
if
clear, I also want you to have rocks in there separately. I'm talking instants and sorceries that let you search your library. Put in every ramping spell you can. And then if there's still open space, just stuff it with creatures, even high cost dragons. Basically just pack it to the gills with creatures and then fill in the cracks with anything that's going to let you get more land than you should technically have at this time. Once the deck works, albeit with no interaction and very little ways to deal with people doing crap to you, you know what I mean? Just get it to a point where it works and then start pulling it back.
Put in the instance.
Yeah, take out a couple ramp spells and put in a counter spell and maybe a removal spell, you know, just kind of a little bit pepper it in, and then once you start noticing instability, kind of put it back to where it was and leave it.
See, this is why it's so freaking helpful talking to you about this, because like that makes so much sense, and I would have never done that.
It's weirdly enough, it's how you overclock a computer. You kind of you have to like start at your baseline, which in this case I'm having your baseline be full of ramp and creatures, right? And then you slowly, with a computer, you slowly increase the speed until it crashes, and then bump the voltage, increase the speed until it crashes, and you just kind of inch it a little bit at a time, and you just keep inch until eventually it's just totally unstable. Then you roll it back to the last time it worked fine, and then you're at your limit. Same concept with this. Build a deck that's going to be basically, it's a baseline, it works, albeit without the ability to protect itself from stuff, and then you can kind of go the other way and build in your protection later. And being in 5 colors means that you can put in cards like Cyclonic Rift and Teferi's Protection and like all of the big guns that are going to be able to protect you in a huge way, you know?
But it's just a matter of getting to a point where it's playable first.
Make sure the deck works without worrying about the other pieces. Like, make sure the creature synergies are there, make sure the mana consistency is there. Basically, make sure it works as a deck with nobody else at the table. Then start worrying about how to deal with the other people at the table. And a way to do that, I don't know if you have the stream open in the background, but in Constructed here, you can go into the Commander Open Play lobby, and you can create a room and set it to 1 player.
Just do like the solitaire version.
Yeah, and the reason that's nice is because you're not going to need counter spells and removal spells when playing solo.
Now, some decks will not work for that. I have a Devil's deck that strictly requires my opponents to draw cards.
Yep.
Yeah, but
that's how the whole deck is built.
This deck does not require that.
That is true for dragons, though, where it's basically just play big creatures, swing for damage. I mean, that's an efficient way to just make sure the base synergy is there, and removing things like your interaction type cards for now, when you're going into that kind of like solitaire style game mode, is fine, because as I said, you're not going to be countering your own spells, you're not going to be spot removing your own creatures, so you're eliminating dead draws and really just testing the do I get enough mana and how quickly can I get creatures down. Once you're comfortable with that, you can kind of start going the other way and putting in the interaction that you had to take out.
And this is all very good advice.
So, and it's time consuming, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going to be able to like build a deck and have it done in a day. Like, it takes work, but at the same time, I mean, you over the course of how many months took that Trostani deck and turned it into from like, oh, it's basically just the precon from all the cards that like Monty gave me or whatever the story was for how you got the cards in person, and turned it into like this like absolute beast of a deck online that will backhand the crap out of all the people at the table if they're not extraordinarily careful.
It's true. That's a deck that obviously required a lot of trial and error, but I am very proud of that one now.
Yeah, and the very first day you played it, it was like, if I remember correctly, that was back, like you were like new, like it was kind of like your first deck other than the precon that you bought, and there was like some confusion about how Populate was even supposed to work.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't even gaining you life on day one.
Yeah.
And you've turned around and turned it into a masterpiece from there. This deck has the potential to do the same thing as long as you're willing to put in the same amount of time that you put on the other one. So should be good though.
And
it feels good playing Trostani, because it's like it's like a completed I can always like alter it, but it's just like
It's finished.
it's like I got there from months of effort.
Yeah, like you don't need to be analyzing, oh, what else do I need to tweak? Like it's pretty much done unless something new comes out that's really compelling.
It'll get easier as you get used to building decks as well. Like I can throw a decent deck together in 30 minutes now just because I've got those muscles worked out.
Yeah. And like admittedly,
Like I still like that. I still like doing that. It's just getting kind of like those fine tuning things that you guys were talking about. Like start at this point, know it works, and then kind of bring it back to where it's going to do more than just its core function.
definitely. And like when you're building a new deck, I'll start the game in a second. When you're building a new deck, I mean, if it's your 4th deck, obviously you're going to need a lot of trial and error to get it working. When it's like your 50th, 60th, 70th deck, you're going to have a pretty good beat on, okay, I'm building tribal aggro with an average CMC of 5.5. I kind of know what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like you're going to kind of have that sort of fundamental in place. For now, this is like your first deck that's going to be operating like this. So the trial and error is important. Jim has been getting an extraordinary amount of, I don't know, deck building practice through Magic Online.
I mean, Jim, you've built like 100 decks, right?
Yeah.
30. I currently only have 23, but 30.
Step it up, man.
It's a lot is what it is. I'm going to keep that, I guess.
Oh, do I keep this?
Play this.
So who we
So
got
for-
commanders
who is the-
wise?
This is a brand new deck. I'm testing it out for the
I
first
can't
time,
keep this.
so we'll see how that goes.
Mulligan. Come on.
So
Hey.
5 mana, 3/3 flying first strike. Whenever an RR equipment you control is put into graveyard from the battlefield, you may return it to the owner. Oh, neat. And what do we got from Ryan? We know Trostani, but I'm going to put it up anyway for any audience members who may not know the card off the top of their head. Yeah, whenever
Trostani's one weakness. Voltron.
Trostani's one is commander damage, which I'm guessing that's exactly what Tiana is going to be all about. So that's fine.
Or
Yeah, the commander specifically calls out auras and equipments, which suggests that that's going to be a common theme within Jim's deck. But that's fine. It's a stress test for an otherwise established deck, as we were just talking about. So,
Jim, you said this is the first time you're playing this one?
Yeah, this deck I put together in 35 minutes.
I am excited to see it.
it's going to be neat.
Last week,
I like the way you make that. Like you're very creative with it.
Mhm.
last week I was waiting for people to get on stream, so I put this together. I
I'm
didn't
looking
end
forward
up
to seeing
playing
it.
it last week, but
Yeah, it's all good. I'm looking forward to seeing it here, and just generally speaking, for like Monday streams, if I'm the one hosting or if I'm going to be streaming at the same time as Mario, so you guys cool with like shooting for a 9:30 start, or do you think that's a little too early or late for what you typically want?
I'm usually fine whenever. It's usually Pat and Mario that are the late runners. Tom, it
fair.
depends on work and stuff. I will say it's weird not really doing anything in my first few turns.
Well, after that last hand.
Yeah, the last game kind of was a little fast. With your commander being a 5-drop now, and I'm guessing a lot of auras in hand,
Yeah,
you're probably not going to have much to cast until she hits the board, so...
yeah. There's a decent number of enchantments in this deck as well, but it's more aura focused.
Mhm.
Everybody loves Steve.
Nope, it's waiting for me to respond, and I'm like checking out the art on that card. That is a
And
good
that's-
picture. Like,
Yeah, that's that is Sakura Tribe Elder Value Engine.
yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. All right, and I'm trying to figure out how to watch your. Oh, here it is. I'm a dummy. All right, so if I hit play, I'm trying to stream your thing.
Oh, you're good.
All right. Now I gotta figure out how to mute it.
If you right click on the tab up top, it should give you an option to mute tab.
Now, if we do end up doing a third game, I think I want to show him, show Ryan my Moonfolk mono blue tribal deck.
Is that the
that
one?
Thing's scary.
That's not the one with the creature's power 1 or less can't be blocked? Is that a different one?
No, that is the Tetsuko.
Okay, very cool.
I didn't even look at what you were playing. Oh, Marchesa.
Yeah, she's here. She's cool.
Marchesa's really good against Trostani because you know you're always going to have someone to hit.
She's comfortable against Trostani because while typically commander damage isn't my way to win, Ryan can absorb a couple hits and get me my +1/+1 counters without it feeling like I'm just bullying him.
It's like, yeah, do what you gotta do.
I'll be like, I need some counters, and be like, sure, whatever.
Whatever.
like you're gonna gain life faster than I'm gonna be able to deal damage anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, this is one of the few creatures I'm actually running in this.
What do we got here? 2 and a white. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's from the new Theros set.
Mm-hmm.
Seems good, right, guy?
Love getting Trostani out before turn 4.
Figured I'd try something a little different.
2 cards have at the beginning of your upkeep. Which one happens first?
Are they owned by the same player?
Yes.
You get to choose.
Yeah, you choose which goes on the stack first. And by extension, which one resolves first. Keeping in mind, first to the stack is the second to resolve.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is Trostani in horny jail?
So the life is an activated ability, but the populate is, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so the gain life is triggered, that's fine. The populate is activated. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you can gain life, you're just not allowed to get too fat. Never mind.
I probably had a play that was equally as good. Like, I just wanted the timing of that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I actually have quite a number of auras that just turn people off. Because the way Tiana's built, if you get rid of your creature or blink it or whatever, the aura goes to the graveyard and then I can get it back.
Yeah. Hello, Mrs. Commander. How are you doing today?
Bro.
I'm surprised that was not expecting to be able to play that.
Because you thought someone was going to, like, what, counter it? Or because you didn't think you were going to hit your curve?
I had 4 lands in my opening hand and had no other lands.
Well, starting
Until
at
just
4 is
now.
not bad, at least.
Yeah. That's always the stressful thing with high CMC commanders.
Yeah. That's the big thing about Yennett that kind of stresses me out is she's like a 5-drop and and her colors in Esper, they don't really ramp. I mean, neither does red white, but you know, never feels comfy.
Well, the other thing is you don't want a hand with 5 lands.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to get mana screwed. Or mana flooded.
What are you doing over there, Rye Guy?
I miss playing is what I'm doing.
Neat. Keep it up, man. What'd you do? Enchant like?
Darn it.
Well, you have
Okay,
two.
well.
What? Both of the lands that you have untapped are forests, so you'll get 4 mana out of them.
But I have other colors.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
But if you tap your Temple Garden for a white, it's going to add a white and a green.
I know, I needed 2 white.
Oh, son of a biscuit.
I know.
Still worth it. It's good to get the ramp in early.
Yeah, I'll take it. I like realized it as I was clicking it, whatever. So Jim, with tickets, do you just go through card hoarder and like look for some real budget stuff and just kind of run off of stuff you already have?
Yeah.
I usually will just sit on them until I find something I want.
Gotcha.
And the card hoarder bots will give you like trade credit, right? So if you have to give them a tick, even though the cards aren't worth that much, they'll kind of store the credit for later, right?
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons I go for card hoarder as opposed to some of the other ones. Because they do store the value. Whereas some of the other ones, if you're not getting your full tick worth, oh well.
Yeah. I'm sure that's not by accident. They're happy to steal the extra value from you.
Yeah.
Card hoarder is just really, I think, user-friendly too.
Yeah. Some of their automated stuff is a little iffy, but I really like
Hear
them.
that, card hoarder? Sponsor Evan.
Sponsor!
Plugs left and right.
I have 3 viewers right now, and they would love to hear about you.
But we're not going to tell them until you pay them some money.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute the audio for this section of the VOD so that they don't know. Get wrecked.
I think they've learned a valuable lesson, and they're going to have their people call your people. Jesus, Jim, what do you got going on?
I'm thinking what he's got going on is we're in trouble.
Yeah, jeez.
So it's a 6/2 flying first strike.
With
All right.
vigilance, so I can attack with reckless abandon.
Yeah.
The one issue with Trostani, no one ever really has any sympathy when attacking me. Yeah.
Like, when they'll swing it, like, especially if it's a group hug deck, they'll be like, sorry, I really need the attack trigger. No hard feelings. I'll make it up to you. For this one, he's like, yeah, eat it.
Get it in early before he gets out of control.
Just keep him under 40 all the time, just in case that
Or keep him
Etherflux
at,
shows up.
or just keep him at 20 commander damage,
Just don't let them breathe.
just in case.
Just don't think about it.
And because this deck has so few creatures, I went out of my way to include almost every aura I could find with vigilance.
Yeah, because having your commander open is really nice. And the first strike is really what's killing me, because I can deal with 2 toughness. What I can't do is eat 6 power.
Yep. Vigilance, yeah. Vigilance first strike is a really nice combo.
Yeah.
Ooh, giant Adaphage. Love it. Hate it, but I love it. It's one of those ones you don't realize how good it is until it runs you over.
Yeah.
That commander having flying is not ideal.
So Ryan, you've made a choice
What did I choose?
that I'm appreciative of.
Oh, I'm happy to help.
You might not be.
I am you. Okay. Well, thanks.
Told you, you'd always be getting those dethrone triggers.
Wait, what was my choice? Should I have chosen something else?
No, you coincidentally, with the power of creatures you played, brought your life total up to be the same as mine, which means I can now get dethrone.
I didn't even think of that. Oh yeah, I guess this deck does really synergize well with that.
I mean, he's still got to kill you at some point, but it's nice to always be able to get those dethrone triggers.
Yeah, because the other thing is, well, as long as Marchesa is on the battlefield, it says whenever a creature I control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, I return that creature to the battlefield under my control at the beginning of the end step, meaning now all of these creatures are persistent. So I don't necessarily have to keep swinging with them, but now I don't need to worry about them disappearing on me, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point. Jim, you probably want to throw that commander at Evan, right?
If he's rotating, yeah. If he's being mean to the Trostani player, then no.
No hard feelings regardless, friend.
There we go, getting all the glitters.
What did you just put on him?
It gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment.
Oh boy. Yeah, please not me.
I'll be nice and rotate. Well, the nice thing is, now that all of its glitters out, unless you exile it, I always have it.
Yeah.
Heliod's Pilgrim's such a good creature in an Aura's deck.
I would agree.
Draw something that can fly, please.
Good luck.
But what's nice is now my ship's Caretaker can block your giant Adavage.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. Sorry, Evan.
I miss my group hug deck. I only have 2 cards in hand. Just doesn't feel the same.
I am just now realizing though, I should put a the lighthouse that lets you have no max hand size.
Reliquary? Yeah.
Yeah. Because this deck's really easy to go over and limit.
Seems good. Why does it seem like Jim's doing math? I'm thinking he didn't notice Vigor hit the battlefield.
No, I noticed. Look at all my soldier tokens.
Oh, that's fair.
And then on Ryan's end step, I get my ores back.
It's already my upkeep. Did they go back?
Is it?
Yeah.
Why didn't they go back?
Which card was supposed to do it?
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's because my commander left first.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll be alright. I kept some stuff in hand.
I'm just popping Sakura.
You're good.
Well, there's your card draw.
If it can start doing things, yes.
What is that white card that removes enchantments and artifacts? I have one and I can't think of what it's called.
Are you talking about Austere Command?
No, shoot, what am I thinking of? I think it's an instant. It's kind of like... I had it in my dragon deck for some reason. Oh no, it's disenchant. Might add that to this. Oh boy. Who's coming at me?
I mean, you have vigor, really nothing that's going to do any major harm to you.
Oh my. What was? Whenever a creature you don't control dies, return to the battlefield under your control with an additional +1/+1.
Yeah, every time you're sacrificing your token copies of Sakura Tribuilder, my Grave Betrayal is trying to go in and give me those tokens back.
I see. But does it not because it was exiled?
It's a token, so it ceases to exist once it hits the graveyard.
Really?
I didn't have it out when the original one died.
I see. Can I not block this? What is when Bastion Fury enters the battlefield? Draw
I mean, I'd prefer you did block it.
you
If
want
you
me
want to
to?
kill it, go for it.
Oh, now I'm nervous. Yeah, whatever. This is probably a dumb play because it's good for you, and I don't need to worry about one damage. But I'm just playing group hug.
I could really go for getting the Ozolith in my hand right now. It's that thing that says whenever a creature I control dies, I move all counters that it had onto the Ozolith, and then at the beginning of combat on my turn, I can dump counters from the Ozolith onto another creature I control. So it lets me kind of recycle all these +1/+1 counters that I'm moving around.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
good card.
Ozolith is really good.
It's a really good card, and I have one, but not in hand.
I misread an effect on one of my creatures. He might be coming out.
The Dawn guy?
Yeah, I thought it brought back an R. It brings back a creature. The wording's just weird.
Ah,
He is useless to me.
these things happen.
Yeah.
Are you anywhere near being able to get your commander back out again? Because I'm looking at Ryan's board starting to get a little crazy, and I'm wondering if that's the only way he's not going to win this one.
On my turn, I should be able to bring... Like, I've got enough mana to bring my commander back up. The problem is I don't have a lot in hand to do anything with it.
Yeah. not to put the crosshairs on you, Raga. I'm just like watching your life total and your battlefield, and I'm kind of like, yeah.
No, you're
We're
good.
kind of at that tipping point where it becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's why I never feel bad about attacking Trostani.
Yeah.
Ever.
Never.
It can be like turn 3. He has 1 life and no mana, and I'm like, he's gonna turn this around. I know it.
At turn 5, all of a sudden he's at 58 life and 30 mana.
Really wish I could populate.
Don't you have a giant Ediphage token? Oh, do you mean you just wish the
No,
thing
I
wasn't
can't-
on your commander?
Yeah.
Do you want me to kill your commander? I can do that.
That'd be so kind.
I mean, you get to populate on your upkeep.
Yeah, that's fair. I could throw 15 and one of you and 13 at the other. We're just gonna pass turn. Obviously not a smart play, but Jim's testing his new deck and he was very nice to me when I was testing my
that's fair.
dragon.
We're kind of in another someone has a commanding board state but is also being nice sort of situation. Ooh, it's Leanne. Hi, Leanne.
Hi,
Leanne.
Everybody says hello. Jim, Ryan.
Assumedly the stream.
Leanne Sing Song's your name, right guy? You want to say hello? Give me a second.
Trying to do the math. I think if I had swung 15-15 at Evan and then the 13-13 at you, unless there was a board wipe, I probably would have won the next turn.
I mean, never don't swing with giant Adifish.
Yeah, I know. I just like with giant Adipage and Vigor on the board at the same time, like it's just a stupid combination. But at the same time, like I'm totally cool with just hanging back. But your deck is doing some weird stuff, but I'm enjoying it. Like when the commander died and then 11 tokens fell onto the field.
12 tokens.
12.
I'm mad I misread Dawn Evangel though. Because I put him in the deck because I thought he added, or he let you bring ours back when the creatures die.
Fair.
He does not. He is dead to me.
No, Evan removed Panharmonicon.
It seemed like it might pose a small threat.
Yeah, that's fair.
So here's the deal, right guy. You still have the highest life total, and I presently... Oh, never mind. Apparently I passed my combat. That's fine. I was gonna say, I have creatures that don't have counters on them, and I would like them to have counters. But I guess we'll have that conversation in approximately 1 turn.
We'll talk.
We'll talk. Not swinging my commander, so you can theoretically just absorb that damage to the end of time.
Tiana is back.
Apparently there's been a little bit of drama amongst the friend group, specifically between some of the girls, so Liam popped in to give me a little info, but I'm going to check in with her more later.
Dish the tea. Build the tea.
Yeah,
What are the kids saying these days?
Letting the cat
On
out of the bag is the last one
it's
that I
not
knew.
worth going into.
No, there was some whole situation, but I honestly don't pretend to know all of it, so I'm just going to let it go for now.
It's also streaming, so it's...
Yeah, I mean, apparently it was put in like it's obviously our private server, but it was put in like the public channel, so like everyone in our group should be able to know about it now, but...
Yeah, but the stream's open to the public, so it's better to just
That's
keep
kind
the
of
tea
what
in
I'm
the
thinking.
refrigerator.
Leanne needs me to back her up on anything. I got her.
She was feeling some kind of way about it, so I'll let her know, because I'm sure that'll actually mean a lot to her.
actually wouldn't even have to ask.
Very short answer. There was some strife between a couple of the girls, and apparently Leanne was somehow made out to be the person who was at fault for why this other person was feeling unwelcome or what. It was a whole giant scrap there, and Leanne was like on New Year's feeling really broken up because apparently somehow she's the bad guy in the whole thing, and I was like ready to go, like actually, like, 'cause I know where these people live. I was ready to go and like physically like show up because you can't hang up on me if I'm at your door.
True. She was also very emotional because she was drinking heavily.
Yeah, so it was just a rough time.
She was enjoying that vodka.
Yep. And then she had a little too much.
I think
About half a bottle. Yeah.
I think I can win right now. I definitely can. Are we playing a game after this if I do?
I have time if you guys are up for
I'm
it.
definitely down for another game. It's only 11.
Okay, cool. Watch Evan do some crazy shit here. Yeah, I can win. Evan, board wipe.
I don't really have that much. Honestly, I have a counterspell in hand and didn't notice what spell you were casting, so I probably should have countered Eldrazi Monument.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Oh, can I win? I'm gonna get close. 14.
Jim's at 41, and your commander's not swinging.
I don't think I can.
You can kill me and get him dang close.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the move here. Lo siento.
Well, I can only block one creature, and it's really not worth doing. So I have to somehow try and get my commander back up to lethal range.
I just did math wrong, Jesus. I would not have killed you there, Evan.
I was gonna just not bring it up.
I know. I was like, he definitely saw that.
I'm like moving my mouse over the cards and just going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Like just fast counting, going, hang on. That's gonna leave me
Flying,
alive.
indestructible, vigilance. Do you have anything with flying?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I have some stuff with dethrone though.
That wouldn't.
No, it would not do anything.
Okay, I was like, yeah, what?
I'm just excited to have it.
I mean, last I checked, all your stuff had dethrone, Evan.
Yep.
You should make a dethrone deck. If you haven't thought of that.
I should think about that.
Yeah, I drew another planes. I'm out.
Having Vernal Bloom and Eldrazi Monument at the same time is also really nice because basically you just get the free life gain and end of the battlefield stuff.
Yeah.
Without having to actually sacrifice anything.
Just swinging into the vigilant, indestructible, vigor-powered monsters just to see what happens.
Well, I drew another land, so I'm dead on my next turn regardless.
Let him block down the board. His creatures will all pick up a bunch of +1/+1 counters, and then he can snap back at you for a bunch of damage. Oh, he just
That was
ate
the
it.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Just figured it would be quicker than.
Assigning a bunch of blockers, that's fair.
Yeah.
They're all 1/1s, so you wouldn't be getting that much anyway. Ryan, you should really run Concordant Crossroads.
What's that do?
It gives all creatures haste.
So,
What color is it?
Green.
What?
Yeah, it's like $5 on Card Hoarder, I think. Last I checked.
small heads up,
Kind of
guys.
expensive, but it's really good. Green haste is.
Yeah, that's. I didn't think I could get that into this deck.
I'm gonna
the catch is it's all creatures, not just your creatures.
Oh, that makes me a little uneasy.
It'll be fine. You'll
Nah,
have
with
more.
I don't like giving. Yeah, I don't like giving. other
Nah,
people
with Trostani, you'd be
chance to
fine.
get their commander. Yeah, but it's more the commander thing that would make me a little nervous.
Most people that care about having their commander hasty already have their commander hasty.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey guys, give me just a second. I will be right back. I gotta drop out of the voice channel for like 5 seconds.
All good. Jim, I'm actually gonna go grab.
Cool. Now, Andy and a couple guys were over playing Smash Bros on the Nerdos server. And I wanted to pop in and see about how much longer they were expecting to be around. Also, I have a new follow. Thank you, Mr. Wertag, or if I pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, always exciting to see new people on the channel. But yeah, no, they have been playing Smash for a couple hours. I was in with him earlier, and then I left to go do this, but I popped over for a minute and saw they were live, and I was thinking maybe if we make this a sort of fastish next game, I'll join them, but they're actually down to their kind of 2-game warning, so it's no big deal either way. I'm going to switch over and play Yennett, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm playing my Moonfolk Land alt deck, which is, if everything goes well, a very quick deck.
Yeah, I've seen it do some fast stuff. I've seen it kind of be, I don't want to say underwhelming, but I've seen it take its time.
It can dirtle, but
yeah, that's all good. I just opened up a lobby, by the way.
there's a lot of draw in it, so I shouldn't dirtle, but it's still possible.
Dude, do you ever like do things the long way because you didn't realize there was a faster way to do it and then accidentally discover something that's like redonkulously efficient to get the same thing done and then you feel like an idiot?
No, I usually acknowledge the faster way. Think it's too mainstream and then do the slow way because it's more impressive.
The issue that I have here is it has to do with the way I record these episodes to put them on YouTube, and I didn't know what the word meant and never bothered to Google it until last night. So what I was doing is I'm recording them to an MKV file on my computer, and then I'm just using Handbrake, which is a software that you can use to change video encoding from one format to another, and I've been transcoding it into X264 MP4 files so that I can upload them to YouTube. And it turns out OBS has something called remuxing available, which I had never heard of in my life, but it turns out what it does is it opens up the MKV file, and it pulls out the data. Since MP4 and NKV files use the same basic information, it's just a different type of what they call a container. It just pulls out the data and puts it in a different container and packages it up. So it takes like 5 minutes instead of like 3 hours, and there's no loss of quality.
Yeah, it's like there's like 40 different types of JPEG.
Yep.
But they'll do the same thing.
And you can kind of swap between the container type things like that as you need to. That was the whole thing. So like I didn't know that was a thing, and I've been like actually transcoding the video before putting it on YouTube, and it turns out
Which takes like twice as long.
Oh, it was taking like 3 hours to do like one episode for the transcode, and it's fine. But then I was like watching some of the stuff back, and there was like a little fuzziness around some of the backgrounds, like because I've got like the colored wallpapers and stuff, and sometimes the edges on some of the shapes were getting really, I don't know, noisy. So the Remux actually did an awesome job. And the other thing that I did is Twitch caps your streams at 6 megabit per second. Like that's the upper limit. If you try and stream higher than that, they'll actually disconnect your channel.
I'm back.
Welcome back. But yeah, so I can record in higher fidelity, and it turns out YouTube recommends recording at 10 megabit. for their 1080p instead of 6. So I actually have my computer split now, so it streams at 6 but records at 10, which is neat.
Well, that's a big YouTube, it tends to be a backlog, whereas Twitch is live. So
yeah, and I get that,
that's
but it's
where
one of
the
those.
difference comes from.
It's one of those things where I've been recording and streaming at 6K or 6,000 kilobit per second, 6 meg, and it was fine. But after finding out that the ceiling is a little higher, I'm experimenting with that today, so we'll see what happens. But Ryan's in with us. I'm going to go ahead and start. And unless this turns out to be kind of a crazy fast game, which I don't know, maybe it will be. But unless it turns out to be crazy fast, this is probably where we're going to end up wrapping things up for the night.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
I want to do some.
What heck is this? Patron of the Moon, 5 blue Moonfolk offering.
I have won a game with this deck with only 2 lands out.
All right, seems good.
2 land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tap. So some blue ramp.
Interesting.
It does not work the way you think it would.
No, I'm going to read it again. So it's Moonfolk offering. You can cast this card at any time you could cast an instant. So it's an instant speed by sacrificing a Moonfolk and paying the difference in mana cost between this and the sacrificed Moonfolk. Okay.
Wait, what?
So that's the first ability, Moonfolk offering. So he could sacrifice a 5-drop Moonfolk and then only need to pay 2 mana to cast his commander, in addition to losing the 5-drop creature. So he can kind of cut into the mana cost. Very neat. It's a 5/4 flyer. That's kind of regular. And then you can pay 1 mana to put up to 2 land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. But the kind of other half of that is you need to have the lands in order to do that.
Important.
That's interesting.
Discretion.
Yeah.
Moonfolk do not tap.
Interesting.
So if you can find ways to do their abilities for cheaper or other things, or circumvent certain things,
Yeah.
Do you play it as like
essentially do stuff for free.
as like a Voltron, or are you just spamming out? I think you could get it onto the field pretty quick for a 5/4 flying.
This is a landfall deck, so
Oh,
Okay.
Blue landfall.
and this can actually do properly infinite landfall.
Let me take a look. I'm just kind of taking a minute to visit each of the commanders really quick. So we have Kardor, who I am pretty familiar with, but he's also expensive. So you get 7 and 8 mana, respectively. Kardor has a built-in discount as well, though, so he just costs 1 mana less for each creature in your graveyard. That's not bad. During each of your cards, you can cast a creature from your graveyard. All right, so you are going to be pretty comfortable just throwing crap out from your library into the grave.
Yes, sir.
And then Yennett, you guys probably remember, she's somehow she's the cheapest commander here. 2 white, blue, black. But she's the one where whenever she attacks, I reveal the top card of the library and I may cast it if its CMC is odd.
Do you I'm glad that I didn't play Trostani. Do you have that those cards with, what is it, Annihilation? Annihilate?
Annihilator, where like when they attack you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
This deck I think does include 1 or 2, but it's not like it's the main strategy of the deck.
I know that I've played, unless you've changed it, back when you were first starting with Yennett, you used that against me with Trostani. I was like, I thought I had the game wrapped up.
So we've got Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre, which has Annihilator 4. Pathrazer of Ulamog has Annihilator 3. Artisan of Kozilek has Annihilator 2. So I've got 3 big boys in here that absolutely do have the ability.
Yeah, I just hate Annihilators so very much.
I mean, I feel like that's one of the most powerful effects in the entire game.
It's one of those, the game design team made it, and then after releasing it, we're like, yeah, that's not coming back.
Yeah,
that's why
insane.
People were mad because they returned to Zendikar and Annihilator wasn't there, and the fan base was like, excuse me, where is this awesome mechanic? And Wizards is like, nope.
I mean, it's such a powerful mechanic.
You don't get to have any more of that. That is enough.
There wouldn't be enough cards to make a full deck of Annihilators, would there? I'm
gonna find out. Because finding out sounds fun. We're gonna find out here.
That deck would just by default have to be amazing.
I mean, the big thing is cards that have Annihilator tend to have a high mana cost.
Okay, so yeah, if there was
Annihilator,
a 2-drop.
Might be an idiot.
There's an H in there somewhere, maybe 2 N's.
That's what I'm remembering here. Let's see. I'm gonna put that card preview there.
ANHI. I think there's 2 L's.
AN
and then Ader.
So I'm looking at it here on the
Two
card.
N's.
So it's ANNIHILATOR. That's, I typed that all wrong.
Two N's.
Either of you guys ever see the movie Annihilation?
No.
Oh, it's a must-watch.
So let me see. I'm just looking for cards. So there are 11 cards in the entirety of the game that feature Annihilator in the rules text.
Okay,
And
so
are all
it'd be-
awful.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Mana cost 9, 8, 15, 9, 12, 10, 11. This is one of those other weird cards. I am not about to time out. Shut up. One of those weird, like, not secret lair. What do they call these things where they're like looks like a sticker put on a card thing? It's called Slivdrazi Monstrosity. It's a 6-drop sliver Eldrazi. It says Eldrazi you control are slivers in addition to their other types. Slivers you control have Devoid and Annihilator 1, and then you can pay 3 to create a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi sliver creature token. It has sacrifice this creature, add C.
Wait, what was the
No.
one where Eldrazi's you control have Annihilator 1? What is that card?
It's one of those, what did they call these? I do not remember what they called. It was like the test card thing where they were like not real cards. It looked like the stickers that R&D uses for testing. So the card is called Slivdrazi Monstrosity. It's colorless, white, blue, black, red, green. 6 mana for an 8/8 legendary sliver Eldrazi. It has the following 3 abilities. Eldrazi you control are slivers in addition to their other types, meaning that if you have a sliver that says all slivers get flying, so do all Eldrazi's now. Congrats. Second ability says slivers you control have Devoid and Annihilator
Evan, you're going
1.
to time out again.
Here, let's click that button.
That would be... I feel like this card would be an absolutely insane commander.
Oh, it was from the mystery boosters. I'm pretty sure these are not legal in any particular format, which is probably for the best.
Yeah.
Sets and legality. This card is not playable in any formats. All right, asked and answered.
Well,
Basically just says don't even think about it.
Go ahead, Jim.
there's one exception. There's the unformat.
These aren't
And
even
that's-
uncards, though.
Well, yeah, but in the unformat, all cards produced by Wizards of the Coast are legal.
That's fair. So the way Wizards does their testing is they'll come up with the designs and they'll kind of enter them into a card database, but when the time comes to do play testing, they print out stickers that kind of look like the front of a card, but not really, and they put them on top of real cards from previous sets so that they can play with the real paper and it kind of looks close enough to the normal layout. So what that card looks like, if you end up Googling it, is the styling on it is meant to look like a different Eldrazi card with the Slivdrazi Monstrosity playtest sticker stickered on the top of it. Which is
Makes it very
Interesting.
clear that it's not legal.
Oh
in
yeah,
anything.
there's no ambiguity about it. You're not allowed to use it. So
That's like you're sitting in your friend's basement and you just want to make someone cry. Here you go.
Look what I played.
Honestly, I think if I saw someone play that without knowing about it, I would assume it was a dead proxy.
yeah. I'm gonna have to discard a card to hand size because I got like all bounce lands.
That's rough.
Yeah, I think this is
Yeah, I
probably
wanted
the
to-
one to toss.
I wanted to opt turn 1 and it wasn't worth it because I'd have to discard anyway.
Discard. Bye bye. Gust Cloak Savior.
Just do it to do it, Jim.
That's the big brain play. Opt into a card that you then have to discard to hand size. Ran Dynamo. Very, very fun.
Gotta get my ramp.
Yeah, got some ramp going over there. Hot damn.
Give me another draw.
Ah, Andy says hello. He has joined us on the chat machine. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Hello, good sir.
Yeah, so what do we got here? Recap for Andy. This is Jim's Monstrosity of a Commander. It is Patron of the Moon. It is a 5 blue for a 5/4 legendary spirit with Moonfolk Offering, which is a confusing mechanic.
I don't use the mechanic generally, so it doesn't matter.
You may cast this card at any time. You could cast an instant by sacrificing a Moonfolk and paying the difference in mana costs between this and the sacrificed Moonfolk. Mana cost includes color. Kind of is like Emerge from Shadows over Innistrad, if you remember. It's got a flying and it lets him pay 1 mana to put 2 land cards from his hand onto the battlefield tapped, which is something. You have this commander. Andy, so it's Cardor with Ryan. Probably doesn't need much more of an introduction. I'm sure you know how that one works. And then I'm running Yennett, who can be gross if I can get enough mana to play her, but that's not really the theme of tonight's game, I don't think. But we are going to go ahead and play this. And I'm going to do the thing. We're going to pay a mana into it. Yeah. Yo, Andy seems both confused by Jim's commander and really excited to see Cardor here.
Ooh, I gotta check out the chat. Talk
Hey,
to my boy Andy.
do it. I'm gonna send a message. I'm gonna say, Andy.
With an accent.
Yeah, it's hard to convey the. Oh yeah, no. Patron of the Moon is not very. But honestly, I want to look up that the combo really quick. So it's Patron of the Moon.
Well, it's a combo I came up with, so I don't know if there's anything.
Oh, that's true. CEDH, Patron of the Moon, Infinite Landfall is someone's
God,
deck
it's a
title.
thing.
Oh, to buy the actual deck that this guy's recommending here, we're going to put this over here, courtesy of Zelda MTG over here on Tapped Out. He has a deck that sells for $3,000 to $6,500 if you were to buy it on Card Kingdom. Holy
Jim
heck, my guy.
Jim made it for one ticket.
What is the...
It was less than 5. I don't remember the actual cost.
Yeah, this is looking like... Oh my god. All right, Magic, you're going to wait for a minute. This is looking like one heck of a deck, and I will read that later.
Well,
but
mine's pretty
geez.
toasty. So, buckle up.
Hey, Right Guy, do you still have the mustache? Did you already answer that? I don't remember.
I do not have the mustache anymore.
You got rid of it? You chump.
I had some interviews this week, and I was like, I'm a douche. If
Oh,
I haven't-
were you
and then I
interviewing
had-
for SEI stuff, or are you leaving the company?
No, FC. I applied for those specialist positions they posted.
Right, I didn't, because screw that.
Honestly, the track position, I feel like you would be perfect for.
I would probably enjoy it, but at the same time, like, learning a new position in my underpants at home sounds awful. Easy when you're on site and can, like, interact and ask questions. No frowny face, Andy. Dude. All right, what do we have? What? Pay 4, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. Pardon me, friend? Okay. That's fine.
I already love this deck, Jim.
Yeah, but look at Amulet of Vigor. It's what turns this deck to 11.
1 drop. Whenever a permanent enters the battlefield, tapped under your control, untap it.
Now reread my commander's ability.
Oh yeah, puts 2 lands down, tapped. But then that untaps them, and then you can pay some amount of mana, I'm assuming, to put them back in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a permanent enters the battlefield and under your control.
Is that the only piece of the combo we're not seeing here on board?
And onto the battlefield tap.
So the other catch is I do need to make my lands tap for more than 1. But that's not hard to do.
So you can get a crap load of mana quick. What's the win con here? Just
Okay,
throwing-
so
yeah.
a lot of the Moonfolk have special things that they can do. And a number of those work as win cons. Because like I could get out an arbitrary number of bird tokens, stuff like that. The other thing is I have a lot of landfall creatures in this deck that do all number of things.
Yeah, landfall is kind of like a could do anything, but it triggers when a land enters the battlefield under his control. So
I have 2 that get 1/1 counters when, or no, they get +1/+1 till the end of turn whenever a land comes in. So that's infinite damage.
Yeah.
I have a creature that whenever a land enters the battlefield, I choose target creature, gain control of it until my creature leaves the battlefield.
interesting. Also, Ryan,
so-
I just read Death's Oasis. That seems like a small problem for us, but we're going to just not talk about it for now.
We're gonna have fun.
Well, Evan, that
Yes.
means once I have my engine online, all creatures belong to me. That's it.
No thanks.
You have your engine.
There's
Wait.
a number of other good ones, but those are my 2 favorite. Combat damage and... Also, because all the Moonfolk are instant speed, it's kind of hard to respond to because I'll just go deeper.
That actually explains why your commander has that Moonfolk offering instant speed thing going on too. So yeah, so there was a deck that Andy was running around the time that I was actually, I think, probably one of the last couple decks I played against him with important. I'm gonna stop that thought for a second. Ryan, do you run Living Death? If you're not sure, check your collection really quick, because Andy would know if that's worth running, because I seem to remember him being a little bit more than a little bit unfair with this commander.
Living Death, you said?
Living Death. I'll look it up really quick.
Yeah, do you know the mana?
Well, I'm going to know it in a second, so we be looking it up, friend.
Fair enough.
We do a little bit of this. We're just kind of rearranging some stuff. So Living Death is a black sorcery, 3 black, 5 mana. It says each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyard, then sacrifices all creatures they control, then puts all cards they exiled this way onto the battlefield.
It's not in the deck. Let me see if I have it.
It should be in the deck, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like it should. For sure. Yeah, I don't have it, but I think I'm going to be getting it.
Because Andy was running a bunch of like...
Shout out, Andy. Love it.
He was running this deck in a way that it was kind of like, mill out your own deck, see what happens, and then maybe you'll just surprise someone with Living Death and just steal the show. And it was particularly not fair. Andy says, got you, fam.
Yeah, that card seems kind of insane.
Yeah,
flying and island walk.
I would classify Living Death as a potential issue.
So Mystic Decree's in here for 2 reasons.
Because you don't want to get hit in the face?
Island Walk will murder me very easily. But also it costs 2 blue, and that just helps get Nykthos up higher.
Oh, that's true. It's kind of like a devotion bump.
That it's an easy way to get my I need lands to tap for more than 1.
That's true. It's defensive, but offers added value depending on where you are in your combo. Now, is the combo kind of the whole point of that deck, or does it have other ways that it tries to win?
No, infinite landfall, and then just getting value off of all the landfall.
Gotcha.
But because of the way I have the landfall built, unless you're removing my pieces, there's nothing you can do at instant speed that will stop it.
Yeah.
You actually have to remove things.
That's fair, that's fair. What do we got here? So we got... Actually, I think we're fine-ish. Ooh, land. Wait a minute.
Oh no.
It's time. Got all the colors are happening. Let's cast her. I forgot 2 of my lands tap for 2 mana apiece. Yeah. And then because of not haste, we're gonna just pass turn there. That was exciting, but also.
Yeah, I mean, once Yennett's out,
she has to do stuff too, man. Like. Oh, and she doesn't have flying, which is a bite in the ass.
Oh, I didn't even see you put down Whisper Silk. Yikes.
Here's the thing. That's basically going to be how I deal with Jim taking flying away from me.
Fair.
Interesting. So now, theoretically, all Jim would have to do is cast an instant with both that and his commander on board, and he could infinite landfall. Now he just needs something that gives him a payoff.
He also has
for a land entering
defense for like an instant removal. Maybe not a defense, but
because he has pay 2 mana, return 2 lands you control to the owner's hand. So tap 2 islands, bounce those 2 same islands, or he'll probably use Nykthos for the sake of having it enter untapped, right? Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. His commander lets him pay 1 mana to put 2 lands from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, which he might have extra mana left from Nykthos. And then that other thing in there, the Amulet of Vigor, that says when those lands enter tapped, untap them. Meaning he can then activate Nykthos again. So now all he needs is maybe an X spell or something that cares about lands entering, and that's game. Andy has made a generous offer. He says he's pretty sure he still has the old deck list from his Caretaker deck. If you have any interest in checking it out, I recommend that thoroughly. That deck was nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play this deck that much, but I would definitely want to play it more if it got better.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think this deck works well, but there's some stuff that he found after playing that deck for a long time that if he's willing to share, like, trade secrets with you, I would pounce on that.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting on a value engine now, because I've got the combo.
Yeah. Don't like that.
But I really wanted to show this deck to Ryan because it's the pinnacle of my jank.
Honestly, though, if it has the ability to go infinite... Now, I'm going to look, again, like once the stream's over, I'm going to take a closer look at it, but I want to look at what that guy did in his, like, $6,000 CEDH deck that sets it apart from what Jim did here, because it seems like it's the same concept, but they probably put in a bunch of those expensive alpha cards.
Well, Patron of the Moon, Amulet of Vigor, and then pretty much any Moonfolk lets you go infinite as long as you have positive tapping.
That's true.
Like, as long as you're tapping for more than you're spending. So the basic idea is very simple. Pretty straightforward. A little tough to execute, but...
So I've got some stuff from Andy here. He says the reason he retired Kardor is because he rolled out Tayam, Luminous, Enigma as his replacement commander. So it's 1 white, green, black, so same colors as Kardor. But it says each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional vigilance counter on it, which is like a new mechanic that lets them basically have vigilance as long as they have a vigilance counter. And then he can pay 3 mana, remove 3 counters from among creatures you control, mill 3 cards, then return a permanent with CMC 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So he doesn't use Kardor anymore because he built a different deck around Tayam in the same colors, around the same basic mill and then get stuff back from graveyard theme, which I guess explains why he doesn't mind giving up Karador's secrets.
Given that those are counters, the card that you love so much would work well.
Ozolith, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it says remove them from. I think Ozolith picks them up when they die. Though, admittedly, I'm not sure.
Still, and if someone tries to kneecap you, it's a nice backup plan.
Yeah. So what do we have in here that I want to use? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to work with. All right, so I guess we're going with this play instead. This is because somebody took away my flying. And I like to ensure that she's not going to get in a scrap with something and get killed. God, this entire game though, like I've got cards in here like Seance that let me... Jim, you took...
Love Seance.
Yeah, Jim, you took away flying. I'm hitting you first.
That's fine.
It's the beginning of an alternating thing though. Oh yeah. Now I can control the top of my library. But no, Seance lets me do it. I was going to say Aminatu does, but here she is. So problem solved. Yeah, and Andy just confirmed he's not able to use the Ozolith in conjunction with Tayam because Tayam makes him take the counters off, but the Ozolith picks him up and the creatures die. Although
it's still a good backup plan.
It is, because if the creatures have counters on them and die, the Ozolith will pick them up and then he can put them on other creatures, which he can then remove with Tayam for other stuff. So it kind of adds a little persistence to the value engine.
Yeah. If everything goes well, it won't make any difference, but when things are going poorly, it can turn the game around for him.
Absolutely, yeah. He says, oh snap, don't know if that's in thought of how we just described that, or if he was, oh yeah, no, there it is. Or if it was kind of like a, I didn't do anything interesting, that's exactly what it was.
Now, this is my favorite to use with Patron of the Moon.
Return a land you control to its owner's hand, tap target land. May I ask why?
Because that doesn't require anything. There's always lands on board.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I love the Ozolith so much. It's such a cool card. Because, like, the big reason that I didn't like +1/+1 counter and, like, counter-style decks before is because it always felt so frail. Like, all it takes is a board wipe or something going in and removing your powered-up creatures, and all of a sudden, all the counters are gone, and you kind of lose everything. But the Ozolith adds, like, this weird level of power to those type of decks because it lets them kind of hold on to everything they've been working towards that whole time. Which I am a huge fan of. Which land are you tapping? Your own land? Oh no, you're returning that one. What did you tap? Oh, the return is part of the cost. Never mind.
So now I can do things like this, which I'm only doing it once to show you that, yeah, this is infinite.
Okay, so you have infinite mana, but do you have a thing to pay the mana into to get a benefit, or are you just kind of demonstrating the fact that the combo exists now?
I was just demonstrating it once because I don't know if I'm going to pull a piece to get value out of it. But now I have the engine. Like it's... And with Floodbringer, it's a non-restricted engine, which is an additional benefit.
That's true. Andy seems to be on the same board with the whole +1/+1 counter frail stuff. Just big issues with them, but the Ozolith really does. It's so powerful. Now, what do we... So I'm trying to remember, what is in blue? Like, is there an X blue spell that you can use to kill people? You don't have to answer that if there's like a secret you're really looking forward to the payoff of casting or something like that. But is that the plan? Or do you have literal like landfall triggers that are going to matter when you blink them enough?
I have a lot of... Well, I have landfall triggers that will kill you if I blink them enough. I have a land in here that will... what land is it? Buried Ruin, I think? No, Sunscorched Desert. Every time it enters, deal 1 damage.
Absolutely not, Ryan.
I knew you were gonna do something.
Did you hear me, Evan?
Sorry about that, Jim. I was taunting Ryan. Continue that thought.
Sunscorched Desert. It's a land. Every time it enters, it deals 1 damage to target opponent.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. And then you can just flicker that repeatedly. Donnie had a, what is it, World Gorger Dragon combo based around that?
I don't actually have any X spells, but I do have enough draw spells in here that I can play out my entire deck in a turn if it lines up right. And then I have other win cons.
I just screwed up and passed my combat step. Go team.
Here's another land.
Getting shouldered onto the board is so tough.
Ryan, can I get a 2 in at you?
Which 2?
The Trinket Mage. It's a 2/2.
Interest of battlefield, you may search your library for artifacts. Sure.
Cool.
Are you gonna blink it?
Nope. Reconnaissance mission lets me draw off combat damage.
Yep.
I'm just trying to draw cards because at this point it's a waiting game.
How many options do you have in there? Like, is this something that's showing up in like 5 seconds, or is this something that's going to be a bit?
Half the deck.
Oh, Andy, circling back to the thing with Donnie. Yeah, so World Gorger Dragon. I need to look it up. He was saying he's seen some Rakdos decks abuse it, but he has a deck built around Anya Falconwrath, who's the Madness Commander. And he put together some kind of infinite combo that allows him to like play World Gorger and then remove Sunscorched Desert. But something about that Sunscorched Desert, an enchantment that's on there, causes World Gorger Dragon to die and go to the graveyard, so Sunscorched Desert enters and does 1 damage. But when it enters, whatever card it left with enters and brings World Gorger Dragon back. But when that dragon enters, it exiles. So they go infinite flickering each other. And it's able to do infinite damage, which is wild. You're tapping my tapped land, thank you.
Yeah, I played Retreat to Coralheim. That lets me scry on landfall, so now I can guarantee that next turn.
Wait, what are you doing next turn?
Winning the game.
Oh, good.
Are we asking me to make sure that, or at least try to make sure that doesn't happen, or are we just kind of sticking with
I can give him my best shot here.
I mean, that's up to you, but basically what I'm doing now is I'm gonna scry to try and find something that will win me the game.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm like looking at my hand and stuff on board and trying to do the math to see if I can disrupt Jim in any meaningful way. Short answer, maybe. But that depends if... Sorry, go ahead.
Trying to figure out how... I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this engine works for him.
For Jim? Alright, so I will lay it out for you really quick. So he has a card, his commander, called Patron of the Moon. He can pay a single mana to put up to 2 land cards from his hand onto the battlefield tapped. That will include Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, which is that land with the devotion thing.
Okay.
The artifact he controls, Amulet of Vigor, says whenever a permanent enters the battlefield tapped under your control, untap it. So now Nykthos is untapped. He can then tap it, pay the mana into it, get the devotion thing. You can see how he's already got 22 mana because he's been doing it this turn.
Hey, Evan, did you just want to yield so I can...
Oh, maybe. Are you killing me this turn?
No.
Okay, then sure.
I can't do anything except fix the top of my library. But yielding through turn will
speed things up. So the other card that he has is called Floodbringer. It says he can pay 2 mana and return a land he controls to its owner's hand to tap target land. He's able to do all of these things cyclically because Nykthos is spitting out more than the 3 or 4 mana required to activate all of those abilities in that chain. So he's able to return it to his hand and then put it back down for free, and it untaps. And then he can tap it again to generate a bunch more mana, return it to his hand, put it back down, and it untaps. Then he can tap it again and generate more mana. And he can do this over and over and over and over and over again until he has however much mana he wants, or until enough enter the battlefield triggers for lands have happened. So like there's a land called Sun-Scorched Desert he mentioned a minute ago. Just says when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target opponent or each opponent, right? So if he can just return it and play it again over and over and over, he will eventually kill everything.
I see.
So right now he's got the combo. He just doesn't have something to put the mana or the recursiveness into. You know what I mean? It's like the engine but without wheels. But all he needs to do is get some wheels on this thing, and he's going to be able to run everybody down. So what he's trying to do now is basically scry through his entire library, putting crap on the bottom over and over until he scries a card that gives him that value, at which point he'll pass turn.
And in paper, I've already demonstrated this combo. I could just look to basically tutor.
Yep. That's the whole thing. In paper, you can go, all right, since I have infinite scries, I'm just going to look top card one at a time and just look for whatever card I want and put it on top of my library. Is that cool? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
For now, because Magic Online doesn't believe in shortcuts, he gets to do the whole thing the long way. Andy says set it to Wumbo. Agreed. I mean, 40 man is pretty Wumbo, if we're being honest here, but...
Set it to Wumbo.
Yeah, so no, in all seriousness, it's literally already an infinite combo. It just infinitely makes no progress.
It just needs something to go infinite into.
It needs something to give it some traction, but as soon as it has a way to make target opponent draw a card repeatedly or deal 1 damage to any target, as soon as he has a way to do something on this reoccurring basis, he's able to gun down the entire board.
There is actually a Moonfolk that lets you mill.
Oh, yeah, so there's multiple items out there, really, but as I said, all he's doing now is he's using the Retreat to Coralhelm. Landfall. It says, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. You may tap or untap target creature, or, and this is the one he's doing, scry 1. So he's just using his infinite... It infinitely makes no progress. He's using the I'm
scrying so that on my next turn I can win the game.
Yeah, because next turn he's going to know that he has a card that he can put into this engine on top of the library. So all he has to do is draw it and then demonstrate that he's got the combo, and then ultimately we'll concede unless we want to drag this out for another 30 minutes, making him click over and over again.
Because I have the combo, even if you shuffled my deck, I could just do it again next turn.
Unless I break the combo by getting rid of pieces of the combo.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
But at the same time, it seems like there's a handful of Moonfolk that'll enable it, so getting rid of the combo is going to probably involve hitting multiple pieces instead of just trying to get rid of 1.
I'm wondering if it makes more sense to wait until he has the combo on board and see if I can address it at that point.
You'd have to have something at instant speed, and keep in mind, what's going to happen is he'll start the combo, and you can cast your spell in response, but then as long as he has sufficient mana,
response.
he can continue the combo on the stack in response and just never let your spell resolve. So you have to destroy it before the infinite combo starts.
I have enough mana on board that that is feasible.
Yep. Yeah, so now the name of the game is wait until he finds what he's looking for and puts it on top of library, and then on one of our turns, if we're going to not lose it next turn, we have to have something that's going to let us destroy hopefully more than one creature, or maybe some of his artifacts, so that we can kind of damage it from multiple directions so that it's harder for him to rebuild.
Can you get rid of any of his stuff?
Well, I've got Yennett, and she's full of magic, so we're going to see what happens.
I can get rid of one of his creatures.
Yeah,
Thinking either the commander or...
Well, getting rid of the commander won't help, because I could just recast it.
He has so much devotion that he could recast it immediately, and because that Moonfalk doesn't involve tapping to activate, he can activate its ability while it's summoning sick.
So I guess Uyo is the next best bet.
Either Uyo, I think that's the one he's been activating, but then the problem is we also have Floodbringer.
Floodbringer is convenient, and that's why that's the one I've been activating.
Yeah,
but depending on what I draw,
either one of them could work. So we would need to hit both to ensure the combo is offline.
Honestly, the best thing to hit is Amulet of Vigor. But I also have things in this deck that just bring back artifacts. Because Amulet of Vigor is the most vulnerable part of this combo.
Yeah, and once upon a time, I'm going to tell you a story that's totally not rooted in reality here. There was this guy who had a card in his hand that says destroy target enchantment.
Was that you?
Well, it's based on a true story. But yeah, I've got and Andy, if you are watching, take a peep at that card preview window above my face and give the rules text a read on that one and see if you think it'll help us. I'm thinking maybe, I'm thinking hopefully, but we're gonna find out. We shall see. Seriously, you're at 80 mana. There has to be art. So you know what we're going to look for? Blue X spells.
I mean, I have one in here. It just... Most of the blue spells involve drawing, and none of them will really help me.
Also, there's like Blue Sun Zenith, which says target player draws X cards. You can just smack me and make me draw 100 cards and I'll lose. Actually, yeah, because there's Brain Geyser, X blue blue, target player draws X cards.
I mean, Blue Sun Zenith with Uyo, I could just mill the entire table.
Yeah, there are a couple cards in here. I wouldn't say they're like a perfect win con, but there are a few cards barring any, like I know you're not going to go out and pay for the cards, but if you can find them at a reasonable price. Ooh, Fascination, X blue blue, choose one. Each player draws X cards or each player mills X cards. Pardon me?
I'm honestly amazed that I haven't found any of the win conditions.
So I'm not doing the math to figure out how much mana you've added right now, but you have scryed like a cool 15 or 20 times now, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's been enough that you, unless you only have like one.
No, I've got like a cool 20.
Prove it.
Get one.
Scry one to the bottom and see how long it takes to find the next one.
Well, honestly, because I haven't hit any yet, they're probably all clumped together.
Andy's got me cracking up. He says threatens infinite mana, then dies to turn timer. Oh my god. The funny thing is, he could be like, all right, my turn timer is at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I'll pass turn, and then on Ryan's upkeep, just do it again. As long as he leaves enough mana untapped to fire the first thing, then he can just keep...
Yeah, and even though it looks like all my lands are tapped down, I could just...
96 floating mana. I think you're fine.
Well, because of the way Patron of the Moon's effect works, I could just bring all my lands back and have them all be untapped for your upkeep.
He could put... Yeah, what he could do is activate Floodbringer enough times to return all of the lands, and then activate Patron of the Moon enough times to put them all back down, and every land will be untapped before your turn starts.
I'm not going to.
But you have the option.
I do have the option.
And if we're being honest, at some point you will use that option, because I feel like, given that you're looking for your combo piece, the plan is to win this one.
Honestly, I'm just gonna wait until my combo piece is on top and then just end my turn and see what you guys do in response.
Moonfolk, oof, tribal. I love it. Oh, Andy, I don't know if you saw. I have been streaming Pokemon Crystal on Wednesdays, and I have named a very special Pokemon after you. So, Ingration, you done it. I don't know if you've seen that. We're gonna look it up now because I want to make sure there's context. Ingration. How do you spell it? You done it. It's this cake that was in a meme like forever ago. Look at this ridiculous cake.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Congration, you done it. Yeah, so to save you the trouble of going and watching like what was like a 2.5 hour stream of Pokemon, I caught the legendary Pokemon Suicune, who feels the need to use Rain Dance all the time, and it just felt like a match. So I have my Suicune named Rain with a Y, like the cool guy that I know. And it's going to be the total boss that makes quick work of a couple of the Pokemon League people, because I'm hilariously underleveled for the upcoming challenge next week. So we're going to figure it out, but Rain's going to save the day. 104 mana. That's reasonable.
Well, I'm trying to get Scry triggers so I can just do this rapid fire.
Oh, I know. I'm just watching
this
pile up.
Killing me.
What's really going to be funny is you're going to get like 10 of them on the stack, and then the next card you look at is going to be the one that you need.
I was just going to do one cycle on the stack.
That's fair. Seems reasonable.
Doesn't help me.
Yeah, so I have...
You know what? I will take that one.
Is it close enough?
It's not the one I wanted, but it is one of them.
After the game, tell us what the one you wanted is, unless you want to keep it secret for next time. So I gotta ask, Ryan, was it any quieter today than it was on like Tuesday or Wednesday? Or was it just like shitty all week at work?
No, today sucked. Although there was like 5 or 6 people out today, which definitely didn't help.
Makes me a little more happy that I wasn't there.
Yeah, Evan, yes. Royal Elemental.
We're gonna look them up. We're gonna look it up right now. Royal Element. I'm so good at typing. You don't even know. Royal Elemental, 3 blue, 6 mana for a 3/2 flying landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain control of target creature for as long as you control Royal Elemental. I'm sure that's not a problem.
The other option I was looking for is Meloku, the Cloud Mirror, or the Clouded Mirror.
We do be searching that card. Yeah, there it is. 4 and a blue, 5 mana for a 2/4 legendary Moonfolk Wizard. Flying. Pay 1 mana, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying. So you could just continue to do your infinite shenanigans. And just
get birds.
Vomit out a million blue illusions. Neat.
I kept up my mana because if you have shenanigans, I'm copying your spells.
Evan,
Yes?
Evan, can you block my World Shaper?
I can. Why do we... Oh, when it dies?
Yeah. Well, no, I want it in the graveyard.
That's fair.
I mean, I could block it too.
You want it killed, yes?
Yes.
I'm actually looking at Jim's board and the amount of mana he has open and realizing that I might have a little bit of a tough time.
Well, I left that mana up just in case you wanted to try something.
I do want to try something. Thank you for asking.
Because, like, I know I said I'd let you guys do your stuff, but also, like, kind of want this win.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't think turn 8's unreasonable for like, turn 8, turn 9.
And I'm killing this, Ryan?
Yes, if you could.
Okay. It's not really an issue for me.
And yeah, I just looked back, something like 20 scries.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which, given the number of cards I have in deck right now, that's a cool 1/4 of my deck. But yeah, the idea is if you make me shuffle, then I'll just scry again until I find something.
My idea was more in the lines of destroy all of the permanents that you have.
Which I would be sad about. I'm not sure if I can do anything. If it's a spell, though, I could also destroy all of your permanents.
That's true.
Evan,
Yes?
I can get rid of 2 of his... I can get rid of Uyo and Floodbringer. But you would also lose Yennett.
Do it.
Well, can you... I won't do it if you can also stop.
Are you forcing a sacrifice, or are you destroying target creature?
Forcing a sacrifice. Well, one of each.
Is it an instant or sorcery, Ryan?
Well, one of them is... one of them is a triggered ability, so the sacrifice is going to happen.
When is it going to happen?
Well, I can use it right. I have Death's Oasis, which allows me to put a card into my hand, and then I can play it. And when the card enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. I guess it's not triggered. I still have to cast it.
That's a triggered ability, though. The reason he's asking is his card, Uyo's Silent Prophet, says that he can copy target instant or sorcery spell and choose new targets for the copy. So if, like, one of us goes to cast something like targeted removal...
If you hurt me, I'm hurting you.
Yep. That's the big thing. So,
I mean, the only thing he can really get rid of is Conrad.
I will ask you to hold off, because if you don't cast that, I have something that will hit harder.
Okay.
Unless he has a counterspell in hand, but he's got no cards in hand, so I'm guessing the answer to that one's a fat no.
There is actually a Moonfolk that lets you counter spells.
It's not on board.
No, it's in the deck, though.
It's fair. Totally spaced for a minute. So Andy has a 4-color Omnath deck, and apparently he's got
Omnath.
Yeah, and apparently he's got Royal Elemental in there. Just kind of speaking to its ability to be very disrespectful to the people around it.
Hey, Andy, I bet I can landfall harder than Omnath.
Green can do some crazy... Actually, once you go infinite, yes.
Yeah, because Omnath can't go infinite.
I mean, if it has
all
access...
the lands in your deck,
Here's the thing, though.
go infinite.
If it has blue, it can just do what you did.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, can...
But yeah, so originally Mario asked me to build a Moonfolk deck, so I built a green-blue Tatiova deck with all the moonfolks in it.
Andy invites you
Mario-
to F around and find out what else Omnath can do.
Oh, I know Omnath slaps. But yeah, Mario was not satisfied with my Simic Landfall Moonfolk deck. So I was like, okay, I'll try and build a mono blue one.
Ryan, do you know what to hit with that?
Yeah.
Do you promise?
Well, I'm hitting Amulet of Vigor. So.
Good. We're on the same page. He Genesis waved turn 9 for 6 and burned the board with that deck. Yeah, that sounds about right. I've only seen it like once, but I don't seem to remember it being particularly friendly.
And yeah, Amulet of Vigor is definitely the right choice. Because without that, there's no substitute for Amulet of Vigor.
Sorry, turn 6 for 9, not turn 9 for 6. I have my digits transposed.
Against Mario, I had my combo turn 4.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten Brago to go infinite pretty early, but like, it sounds like that wasn't even like a combo. That was just Omnath being like, meh, let's kill people.
Yeah. No, I can win the game turn 4 with this deck if I hit it right.
Yeah. So the big question is, did that kill the combo or did that just mildly disrupt the combo?
They killed the combo, but I can still do quite a number. Just because I've got so much mana up.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is the next card I'm going to draw is not going to bring back an artifact. They are in here, but I was digging for something specific.
That's fair.
Which I suppose in response I could have searched, changed my tune.
You could have
and
just
been like, oh,
dug for the next piece. Yeah.
Yeah. And dug for something to get back Amulet of Vigor, but it takes so long to do that in Magic Online. It's honestly the worst. And I have a number of artifact search cards, just in case I have everything but Amulet of Vigor. Because it's only a 1-drop artifact, so...
That's fair. So I think I just completely, forgot to swing at Ryan the one turn, and then it just took that long to get back around. Since I'm not going for damage, I'm just flipping my Angel of Despair.
It's all good.
But that's all I got. So now, the not infinite version of that type of interaction is online. So let's see what he's going to do. Yikes. It was like 20 mana.
This was what I dug up.
Honestly, though, that'll make it big enough that you can just kind of throw it at someone and punch a hole clean through them.
Well, it doesn't have haste, which kind of stinks. I was digging for something better, but
that'll work. And you could theoretically tap out pretty hard and use your combo in a non-infinite fashion to get a lot of landfall triggers on it. because you can keep activating them and just kind of bouncing stuff back and forth. You just can't have Nykthos keep entering untapped to feed it.
Yeah, which gets really out of hand.
Yeah. I like this deck, though.
Yeah.
So what? You're just gonna make that thing enormous?
Actually, I'm getting more scry.
Looking for the next piece?
Just whatever. I figured I have the mana.
Andy's making me want popcorn. Damn it. Actually, cool thing. I sort of forgot about it for, I don't know, 20 months. But Leanne got...
Casual forget.
You know, these things happen. My birthday... Was it Christmas? It was a while. Whatever it was a holiday a year or two ago. She got for me...
It was my birthday or Christmas. One of those two holidays.
One of the... It's... Here, all right, would you like...
You know, the birthday... the holiday is my birthday.
Allow me to introduce you to this thing called context. They happen less than 2 months apart, both in the winter, and they're days where people give me shit. I don't remember which one it was.
That was awesome.
No, so she got me this popcorn thing. So you get like the popcorn dudes, the kernels, and the oil, and then turn it on, and it pops it off all fresh. And then you melt like actual butter over it instead of like the microwave stuff.
Like the air fryer.
Yeah, but it's like it's got this little spinny boy. Sometime eventually, I'll have you guys over. You know, pandemic and such. So probably not like this weekend, but eventually, and I'll make popcorn for you with it, and it's delicious. Yeah. And all of this talk about popcorn has me like my stomach actually is growling right now.
I could go for some popcorn too.
Hey Ryan, you want to come over? Oh wait, pandemic, never mind.
Have a popcorn night?
Yeah. Yo, I'm supposed... Donnie.
Try kettle, cheddar.
Donnie's been like, yo, I want to watch the Harry Potter movie sometime. We should do that. And I was like, yeah, let's. And then now he's like, sure. Oh, but I'm not free for like forever. That's not fair. So
are you open in October?
So we were going to be doing something this weekend, and then that something sort of fell through, but I didn't make any plans with him, and that's fine. He's busy this weekend anyway.
That's retreat to Coralheim's other benefit, by the way.
What do we got?
No blockers.
Oh,
I mean,
you could just
summoning sick though, right?
He is.
And Yennett has shrouds, so like we're a little okay. But no. Oh, thank you. Apparently, my birthday has now been deemed a national holiday, as it should be. It
About time.
Pretty close to Valentine's Day, so we could just dismiss it as kind of a little bit of both, I guess.
I think I could also just like deal combat damage as a win condition, because I can just tap people down.
Yeah, you could just pin the entire battlefield and then just beat the shit out of people.
I wanted draws.
Honestly, though, card advantage is more fun than combat damage.
So is Jim out of mana right now, though?
He has now officially spent all of his mana for the turn, meaning we have another lap around the table before he starts trying to do that again. But the amount of damage he dealt there means we've got a turn, maybe two, before that becomes like a major problem.
Okay.
Yeah, because the tapping down your creatures is just for free.
Yeah. There's a kind of a consequence of the other things that he's doing, but it lets him remove blockers.
What do I want to do?
But I worked really hard to make this deck like interesting and good.
And honestly, I'm liking it because it's one of those things. So here's the thing on that one, Mr. Andy. This little space over here, this is called the Exile Zone. He says Papa Shieldred for science, and while I would love that, the answer unfortunately has to be no. Here's the thing though, Andy, the reason it's in the Exile Zone is because I own one of these, and he cast it when I only have my commander on board, and I felt a kind of some sort of way about that.
It wasn't even, it was trying to get stuff off Jim's
I know.
but
I
knew you weren't gonna let
it. But like it hit the board, and then the game was like, you want to cast stuff for this phase? And I was like, maybe.
Yeah. Right now.
Like if I had two things out, I probably would have been fine, but like right there I was like, no. Sorry. Like I'm not that sorry, but like I'm a little sorry. Let's put it this way. I'm not remorseful enough that I wouldn't have done it again if given the chance, but like I feel a little bad.
Now, how would that work? Because you have Shroud on Yennett, you can't target her.
He can't, but Shieldred says that at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. So I'm not targeting
Happens
her.
automatically, right?
You
Okay.
only target if you're
say.
putting an ability on the stack. Since my sacrifice doesn't go on the stack, it doesn't target.
Okay.
It's the
'Cause I was
same.
gonna say, usually it's like player chooses the enemy sacrifice.
the
I wasn't
same-
sure how that would work with Shroud.
Yeah, it's the same basic mechanic that I abuse with Braga when I use Flicker to put things like Imprison in the Moon on creatures with Hexproof or Shroud. Hey Ryan, you wouldn't happen to have Elish Norn in that deck, would you?
Maybe. I'll check real quick.
Should get one of them out for science.
What was it? Elish?
Elesh.
Es.
Relish Norn's awful. I hate it.
It's the white version of Shieldred. It's like creatures you control get +2/+2, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2, and I think there might be something else going on there, but I don't remember.
I actually do have it. Yeah.
It can't be countered.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that
it's
sounds
the other
about right. Grand Cenobite.
It's vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2. Other creatures your opponent controls get -2/-2. It's a 4/7.
Yeah, it
It's
seems
the White Praetor.
significant.
Fun. I still
Um,
prefer Urbrask because
It's funny, people act like that one's objectively the worst, but like the everything gets haste, congratulations, can be really helpful.
well, the bigger thing is that all your opponents lose haste,
What are we getting rid of?
and if you're in a really aggro play group, that can be indispensable.
Yeah. You've been instructed to do it for the kids, right, guy?
I'm really mad that I ended up dirtling for 3 turns because I didn't draw any win conditions.
And that was a little bit dumb luck, though, with the number that you supposedly have in there. And I only say supposedly because I just haven't seen the deck list, but like, there's not really a great reason why you should have needed to dig that hard to find one.
Well, honestly, I shouldn't have even needed to dig at all.
That's fair.
Because there's enough win conditions and enough draw spells. Because that's the other thing. Pot of Greed up in here.
Yeah.
Because it's blue, why not?
Yeah.
If I'm not drawing a win condition, I don't care. So I'm fine with looting. Once I've got the engine, just get rid of the crap I don't need.
Did you guys ever see the one meme that had like the Pot of Greed face next to Kamala Harris's face? It cracked me up. I want to see if I can find it.
I have not, but that sounds fun.
Googling right now. Oh boy. Did we found it? I think we might have found it. Yeah, it's... Oh, come on. You can zoom in more than that. Don't you lie to me. We're going to work on that behind the scenes for a minute. There it is. Come on. Come on, look at that. I don't know if you're on the stream, but like...
That is, in fact, the same face.
That's the exact same face, and I love it. Jim.
Yeah.
Andy says you would make a great Yu-Gi-Oh! Antagonist.
What do you think makes more sense? Getting rid of Retreat of Korahelm or...
I mean, at this point, I can't do much, so it doesn't matter.
Unless he
I mean,
draws a...
You're swinging at me next turn, though, aren't you?
I only swung at you because you broke my crap. If you keep breaking my crap, I'll keep swinging at you.
That's probably fair.
Just
call him the crap breaker.
If you don't draw a way to go infinite, will you go for Evan instead of me next turn?
It's definitely a possibility. He's got less blockers. Honestly,
Well, that was
I
a
would
ringing
just-
endorsement.
I only swung at you because I needed to get through and I needed the draws. And I could just go deep into Wavewing Elemental, but at this point I want to showcase my deck more than I want to win. so I want to draw all my crap and splooge it onto the field.
It's fair.
Fair.
It's fair.
I can either get rid of Wavewing Elemental or Retreat. I can't get rid of both. But I won't get rid of either if...
I'd prefer you didn't get rid of either. At this point, like...
I mean, if
I just want to play stuff. I don't actually care if I win.
That's fair. That's respectable.
Because I've got 34 minutes left on my clock. I don't have enough time to do a large loop.
All right, I'm gonna leave a little bit of mana open just in case, but
So. I mean, leaving mana up is never a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have 3 cards in hand, so it might not be a bluff.
don't skip your attack phase.
Yeah, I kind of skipped my first main because I was a little bit not paying attention, but
I saw it happen quick. I was like, oh no.
I'm gonna trust that I have something of value on top of my library. Nope.
Annihilator 10.
But the important thing is I can actually use that a little bit. Andy, you treat that cat with respect. Let's see, so we're going to play a land.
Okay.
Sir, Avatar is so much better in life gain deck like Trostani and stuff.
Yeah, I got it in there.
Yeah.
It's a hilarious
boy.
card.
Except
Oh boy.
I would like to...
Because
Yes?
I hit my win land.
Do what?
I mean, it doesn't help me right now, but
Sunscorched
showing you.
Desert is one of those lands that when it enters, it lets him deal damage to a target of choice.
So can he kill me right now?
No, he doesn't have the remainder of the combo that would let it go infinite, but he hit the land that is part of his potential infinite combo.
yeah, that's one of my win conditions.
Because his the thing that he was doing, it let him bounce 2 lands he controls, so he can bounce Nykthos and Sunscorched Desert, and then put them down with his commander. Sunscorched deals a damage to any target, then he can tap Nykthos to get more mana out of the stuff and just do that infinitely. And every time the desert enters, it deals a damage.
I would also just be gaining mana, which I can use for other stuff.
That's fair.
Let's draw 4 cards.
Neat. What are we doing? Jim, are you doing the combo-y crap again?
No, I was just playing lands because I had them in my hand.
Well, that's fair.
Draw 2 cards.
What did you just targeted Renegade Railier for what?
Just tapping it down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing lands and I get the effect, so I may as well.
I actually think I've got the promo art for that card from back when it was like one of the cards that you could get from Friday Night Magic.
Nice.
Yeah. It's one of the little notebook things I've got from my my card bag somewhere. I should find it. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but Leanne is cracking up in the living room about something, and I really want to know what's going on.
Me too.
Andy is just absolutely dying somewhere in the house. Apparently something funny happened, and it's probably that they're in some sort of like girls chat. Right.
I'm gonna spend the next day or two working on this dragon deck.
Do it.
And then I want to take, whenever you guys are down, I want to run another test or two with it.
Yeah. I mean, Monday is normally stream night, and we've already got a handful of people in rotation for that one, so I don't know what's going on then, but any day...
Yeah, no rush. No
this
rush.
weekend or other days of the week, I would probably be down. I don't know if Andy has his Magic Online sign-in at all, but if he wants to try and join us, I'm sure that could be fun. He had, what was it? Atla Palani was the big deck that he built on here that was disrespectful to the people around it. It was a whole situation.
Yeah, so even with the combo turned off, if I've got enough stuff built up, I can still do quite a lot with this deck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Atla Palani is the deck. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's the one that creates the egg tokens.
Yes.
Oh, I played that deck. That
Egg
deck
Mom.
sucks to play.
I'm pulling it up here, but it's 1 red, green, white. 4 mana for a 2/3 human shaman. 2 and tap. Create a 0/1 green egg creature token with Defender. And whenever an egg you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Yeah, he
can just...
He had a deck that would just spit out egg tokens, sacrifice the tokens, and just vomit creatures onto the battlefield way ahead of curve.
Yeah, I remember playing that deck.
Yep. Yeah, he had a couple decks on here that I seem to remember being kind of, I don't know, time consuming to run.
Yeah. There was the one where it was like, you sacrifice a 2 mana thing, you get a 3 mana to 4. It was like, what the hell? They were all very good, though.
Ryan, do me a favor.
What's up?
Don't kill me this coming turn. I'm going to destroy Jim. No, I'm tapped down and I've got nothing. If you swing with everything of yours, you could probably come close.
9, 12, 15. I could hit you for 15, but I won't.
Yeah, but you can also probably deal more damage with Conrad and Cheekiness.
Well, let me put it this way.
I'm not going to swing at you.
Sarah Avatar has the same amount of power as Jim has life, and he's got no blockers.
I honestly just wanted to draw more cards.
That's fair.
And I did tell Ryan that I wouldn't kill him.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, this is another good one. Hedron Crab. Landfall, target player mills 3.
Yep. That was one, Tom was looking at building that into a Dimir mill deck that he was working on for Modern back in, like, I don't know, 2017. And he got to meet the guy Reed Duke, who's one of like the really well-known pro players, and that was his recommendation, is put as many fetch lands as you can into that deck and get Hedron Crab on board, and then crack your fetch lands, because you're going to get a landfall when the fetch enters, and then you're going to get another landfall when your land enters off the fetch.
Honestly, in a 60 card format where you can run 4 of Hedron Crab,
yeah, it was one of those, like, obviously that's kind of passive milling, that's not a win con, but at the same time, any value you can scoop up off that is well worth it.
Honestly, just run 4 Hedron Crabs and the rest lands.
Because you can run, because it's not like Commander, you can run every fetch that's going to be even passively relevant to your deck, and you don't need to worry about color alignment or anything. You could even just put other random ass lands in there to hit with fetches if you wanted to. I don't think you should, because Modern's pretty sensitive to the timing, but like, he could get creative with it. But he was running like 4 Glimpse the Unthinkables, 4 Breaking and Entering. Breaking
and it's
was
fun, but you
2
don't
mana
need all
mill
that.
8. No, but I mean, Glimpse the Unthinkables a 2-drop mill 10. So it'd be like turn 2, you're milling 10, turn 3, turn 4, you're milling like another 20. Like he'd have you milled out turn 4, turn 5.
If you're doing Glimpse the Unthinkable, you're better off in a Flicker deck though.
A Glimpse is a sorcery.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know there's a creature that mills a lot.
Pulling it up really quick. Yeah, Glimpse the Unthinkable is a sorcery. Target player puts the top 10 into their graveyard. I think that's now been keyworded to mill. Okay. I'm just looking at the image.
What's the creature that makes you mill a lot? Because I know there is one and it's really good in Flicker decks.
Is it an enter the battlefield trigger or a combat trigger?
It's an enter the battlefield.
Doing a little Googling over here on my second monitor.
Yeah, I could actually kill Jim here too, but I'll give you the satisfaction.
Thank you. Seems good. And then the exchange on that is I'm not going to send anything your way this turn either. I'm just going to bonk Jim for lethal and then swing it back to you.
That's fair, because I could kill him too. So
I'm fine with that. I just wanted to show off more cool stuff.
Andy's now bragging about the fact that he totally called it earlier. Jim threatens infinite wackiness, dies to literally anything.
That's because I don't run much interaction.
Yeah, that's fair.
This deck does have an interaction that's just so hampered by what I draw.
Yeah, I mean, if you... Jim, I'm tempted to just, like, literally give you 5 tickets and just put some, like, crazy shit in there, because it seems like you can get infinite pretty quickly.
Like I said, I went infinite turn 4 with Mario and won the game before.
I did that backwards, so we're going to have to move this, and then I'm a dumbass.
This deck honestly doesn't need that much tuning. It just... I need to get better at calling which hands I should actually keep.
Damn it. That's a good play. Shit. I was feeling good for half a second about where I was standing.
Well, someone pointed out that Sarah Avatar is better in a life gain deck. Well, I'm turning Sarah Avatar into a life gain deck.
Yeah, that's oh man, when you can put life gain on Sarah Avatar, it's freaking hilarious.
There's another one. I think it's a wall. It lets you gain life equal to the toughness of any creature you choose, or something like that.
Evan.
Yes.
By taking Shroud off of your... Oh no, you don't even have your commander. Never mind. Wait, what the fuck happened to Yennett?
Jim swung with like a 21 power creature, lethal. So I blocked with Yennett and threw it back to the command zone.
Yeah, I was swinging lethal, so he blocked the right way.
Okay, wait a minute.
Because if he blocked either of the other two, he was dead.
Yeah, it was kind of like a decision moment. I needed to either live the combat, lose the commander, or just kind of like go down with the ship. That's not really my style.
No. Your style is to ditch the ship and come back with a bigger ship.
Yeah.
Oh, and I finally started on my base, Evan, in your Minecraft server.
I will have to swing over next time we're both on and check it out.
So far, it's just like the rough blueprint, but
if I have
an idea of...
If I have Undying, Sarah Conrad, and Spore Frog on the same time, at the same time, could I just keep doing that?
No, because Undying's going to have it come back with either a +1 or -1 counter. I don't remember which, but what's going to happen is if it dies a second time while it has that counter on it does not come back.
I see, okay.
There's actually a really nice combo with Undying and that card that makes all players cannot put on counters.
Yep. Solemnity.
Yeah, there's a really nice combo with that. Honestly, Solemnity is just a busted card and it combos well with a lot of things.
That's fair.
It also shuts off many a deck as well.
So now the big question is, does Ryan just swing with everything to put a giant dent in my life total, or what are we working with here? The really funny thing is, that put my life at 73 and I don't need that to win the game.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a way to deal with that life total.
I'm gonna be right back.
Do it, man.
What do I got?
Yeah, like it's fine. Like it would made it easier to have it, but I'm looking at some cards in hand that should be passably helpful at getting things taken care of.
Yeah, I think you're probably looking at.
But I've only got 1/5/5, and I'm gonna have to start like hard casting shit in order to get through. So I'm looking at like one spell per turn until I get there.
I don't love this play, but tis what it is.
Tis what tis.
Exactly. Damage can I do here? Everything with Undying, if you kill it, it'll come back with a +1/+1 on it.
Correct.
Okay.
So you're going to do 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 19, 24, 26 damage if you swing out right now. Which
And I actually don't
Sorry, go ahead.
I actually don't want to make this deck any more consistent because I can get my engine online really reliably. That's not too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like that the win condition I pop up is different every time
That's true.
because it adds some spice to it. And the only thing that I could think that would help this deck is better draw cards than the ones I have.
Yeah.
But the overall dynamic wouldn't change a whole lot.
You're sending those all at Aminatu?
I figured you were gonna ult her.
No.
I can't.
I'm going to board wipe, dude.
Fair enough.
How do we want to play this? So I've got 9 mana to work with. Yennett's unfortunately going to cost me 7 of it if I choose to cast her. I think we're just going to start with this. Actually, let me cancel out of that for a second. How does his ability work? Andy's taken off. Bye, Andy. I love you.
See you, bud.
No, I would not like to cast that spell. Thank you for asking.
We'll put it into. Okay. What is Cascade again?
When I cast the creature, I exile cards from the top of my library until I exile a non-land card with a lower converted mana cost. I may cast that card without paying its mana cost. I then put the other exiled cards on the bottom of my library in a random order.
And so it's 7. Okay.
So I get a 6 or lower drop for free.
Alrighty.
And I do actually have a way to make all of your creatures power 0 as well. It's one of the Moonfolk.
Honestly, the Moonfolk are really cool.
They're weird. You have to build the deck with them in mind if you're going to build them. because they're not good unless they have the support they need.
Yeah, that's fair.
No way. This card in here, but we're using it.
Sending them all in. Okay.
Oh shit. Whoops.
Smooth brain for you.
God damn it. Well, I was.
Yeah, it's the crusty UI. We've all done it.
Darn it. Oh, that was stupid.
And Ryan, if you did want to sponsor another one of my decks, you're certainly welcome to it. Just tell me what sort of thing you'd want to see, and if it's a specific commander, either get it for me or give me enough to cover the cost of that.
Let me return all non-online permanent targets. Player control. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Board wipe. It have happened.
Was that the one you were going to use against me?
No, I was going to use a different one against you. Which, spoiler alert, I have a second board wipe in hand. Get ready.
Yeah. No, River's Rebuke I definitely would have sent back at you.
No, I was going to use Ingaruk's Wake.
What's that one do?
Destroy all creatures and planeswalkers you don't control.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I would have copied that too.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, you got rid of my signet too. Gosh darn it.
I have gotten rid of the stuff. You are powerless. I mean,
1, 2,
you've got
3,
enough
4.
land to do some shit, so.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bleh. Bleh.
And yeah, none of the Moonfolk are all that amazing until you have a deck to support them, and then they're solid.
Seems good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Seems good.
I mean, with Kardor out, you just get Spore Frog back every turn.
Seems good.
Actually, sort of helps that I can put stuff in the graveyard.
Oh, you have to discard like 5 cards.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It's not the worst with this deck, but, you know, still not ideal.
Agreed.
And Ryguy,
What's
if
up?
he goes for another board wipe, just sack Spore Frog in response. That way, at least the combat's nullified for the turn.
Good call, my friend.
I mean, it's better to wait until he swings out. That way he doesn't have blockers, but
Warfrog is such a good card.
What do I want?
I gotta figure out how to do 72 damage.
So the
I
problem
have
is
a good way.
my commander is going to cost me 7 to cast.
Can you even play it at this point this turn?
Not this turn, no, so I'm mulling over other options. Hmm. Oh right, I've got 3 black mana. So to answer your question, yes I can. But now I can't do anything else this turn. Because you have Spore Frog, I'm just going to let it slide for now, and I'm going to hope your next turn doesn't go too crazy.
I mean, at this point, there's no like dick moves, right? Like it's just we're just
Yeah,
playing.
no, it's turn 14. Anything goes.
I will stop fooling around if you kill Yennett, though.
That's pretty much what I was asking.
Hmm.
Yeah, now I'm being annoying.
No, I was
can't even-
humming because I'm looking at my hand and mulling over what options I have.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. What do we got? So I've got enough lands to cast a minimum of 1 spell. Okay. Seems good.
Probably should have left up a green mana, but well. Okay.
So the one nice thing is now that it's down to 1v1, things that say target opponent, it's clever enough to just target you automatically.
Life total is getting pretty low.
I have to say, that's the only downside to online. I build ludicrously crusty combos, and the fact that you have to do everything manually means they take forever.
Yeah.
I can't help myself, though. They're so pleasing when they actually work
That's fair.
out.
That's fair. I did not figure you for taking that damage, man.
Figure Spore Frog buys me another turn.
Let's see what else we've got then. Just kind of flipping through. I mean, obviously that's cool to pull off the top, but you know.
And yeah, if he's not threatening lethal, It's good to keep Spore Frog up. Yep. Yeah, because World Tree almost seems like it was made to pair with Golos.
Enlightened Tutor. This could get ugly.
It got ugly when you decided to take out the bigger threat. Now Evan can just focus on you. He's too good at it.
Just currently trying to figure out what artifact or enchantment I want.
So lame when I play a creature and I don't gain life based off of its toughness.
It's true. And you're in colors. You could have Trostani in the 99 if you wanted to.
I do.
You do? That sounds about right. I mean, it's a good card and you had it in your collection. You might as well.
I threw it in. Figured, what the hell?
Wow, it's like 1 a.m. and Leanne's still out there having fun. I'm proud
Good
of
for
her.
her.
Yeah, she going up into the pandemic was kind of like a 9:30 bedtime. I'll just scroll on TikTok for a couple hours kind of person. I'm so excited that she's like got this friend group that she's met through all this.
That is dope.
Yeah, I'm just actively hoping that the next stimulus doesn't come out until after tax season so that I can actually get this one.
Yeah, I did not. The $600 one, I can only claim it on my tax return for some freaking reason.
I haven't gotten any of them.
Wait, what? Why?
Okay, so I live at my parents' house and I pay rent. They told me that they were going to claim me as a dependent on their taxes. So I wrote that I was able to be claimed as a dependent because I didn't want them getting screwed by the IRS.
Yeah, that's damn.
Well, they didn't file their taxes, so they haven't gotten any of them.
What?
I said I was a dependent, so I haven't got any of them.
Oh my god, yeah, that sucks, man.
I mean, I can't complain too much. I've been able to actively ignore people without getting in trouble, which I always enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to catch up on my reading and everything. So that's good.
Have you guys heard of why I wouldn't get it until claiming it on my taxes? The only thing I can think of is because I filed my taxes for 2019, so last year, after the original April 15th deadline, but because they gave the extension, it like wasn't late. That's the only reason I can think of why I have to
I don't
now
know.
claim.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Because like I got the 1200 one totally fine.
I don't know. It could be in the wording because this one was worded really weird because it was tacked onto another bill instead of being its own thing.
Yeah.
The first one was its own separate bill.
guess the good news is, and if they do a $2,000 one, if it's the same shit, my tax return's going to be amazing.
That's true.
I did just exciting news. I sold my car today. Got about $1,400 for it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad considering cars drastically reducing value for every second you own them.
Yep. And it's got a big ass scratch down the side. It was
$2 million car for 2 seconds. Sorry, it's only worth $250,000 now.
Oh, so this does that shit every turn. Damn.
Yep, you got 2 turns to figure your shit out, man.
Wait, why 2?
Because it's going to come back on my upkeep and you're going to be at 1 life. And then my next upkeep after that, you die.
Yeah.
And that's assuming Evan doesn't pull other cheeky crap.
Yeah, if I can find a way to ping you for 1 between now and then, you have until my upcoming upkeep. So far, I have not found a way to ping you for 1, but we'll see what happens.
Well, you can also fix the top of your library with Soothsaying.
Yeah, I can.
Which isn't great, considering you really want to do Yennett stuff, but if he's got Spore Frog out all the time...
Yeah, because it only prevents combat damage. If I can find anything that pings when it enters or does anything else, or if I can find a way to just take Spore Frog from him, then I'll be fine.
Not necessarily, because if you have something that's going to take Spore Frog, you can just sacrifice Spore Frog.
I have 2 cards in my hand that are going to let me take it out of his graveyard.
Oh, nice.
So if he sacrifices it again, he loses it. Spoiler alert.
Okay. That's good to know, I suppose.
But if you don't sacrifice it, you lose to combat damage. So, you know.
Yeah. We're kind of rocking a hard place here. Protection from black means that both of your creatures can't block any of them, or they can't kill it.
They
can just not block?
I can't block your creatures, and my creatures cannot deal combat damage to yours if you block.
Okay.
It also means black spells cannot target your creatures.
They can't, but a black board wipe will destroy all of them because it's not targeting.
Correct.
That's some foreshadowing.
I mean, I told you like 4 turns ago, and then I've got Ingaruk's Wake in hand, so yeah.
Fair.
I was pretty upfront about that one.
Yeah, it wasn't subtle.
Let's see what we got. Looking at the top 7 of my library, I'm going to just rearrange a smidge. Wow, that's not great.
Still haven't gotten hit with the Annihilate.
At this point, you won't. You'll die first. And Evan generally tries not to bring it out unless it's like
If it's
someone's doing something mean.
If it's either to punish someone who's being a jackass, or if it's a finisher, yeah, I'll play it. But I typically don't deliberately cast Annihilator and just slowly melt people's battlefields because it's not fun, you know?
I mean, the other thing is most of the cards with Annihilator have good effects other than just Annihilator, so you don't really need to attack with them.
Yeah.
It's good to just have the threat.
I'm gonna lose that 2 damage either way.
Yeah.
This will buy me a turn at least.
Seems good.
I mean, the problem is if he can think of anything that'll deal you damage.
Yeah. Lightning bolt.
Sorry, I'm just kind of making a decision here.
So if I have protection from black, if I block you, you just don't do damage to me then.
Correct.
That is correct.
Yeah, your creatures just won't take damage from black sources that I own.
No reason not to block then.
Yeah, protection's really good. The only reason not to block would be if he has an effect that does something to blockers. Which Evan is crafty enough to have. And we'll see what happens.
Sorry, I'm just kind of checking my options here. Sorry, just a lot of thinking going into this move.
I sound like that.
Yeah, that's probably going. Yep. If the other ones have protection.
That should do it. Oh no, I still have Spore Frog.
You still have Spore Frog, and I don't have enough mana to cast my clever Take It From You spell right now.
Hooray!
But getting rid of protection from black does help him an awful lot.
Yeah,
that's big.
It also got rid of all like the different abilities they had, so they can't block at all now because they don't have flying. So let me see.
Yeah, having flying was a big part of that too.
So I've got 5 mana to work with. There's only 3 spells in my hand that I can cast. I'm thinking the name of the game.
I mean, if you don't have a way to kill me, patience more than anything. Just kill me.
I'm taking a look.
Well, look-see. Peekaboo.
I don't really have anything that's going to do it. But you're at 1. So you have to pop your Spore Frog.
You betcha.
So I get a Gilded Lotus. Unfortunately, that's all I've got for now. So I have
Not too shabby.
I mean, it
No.
solved an issue for me, but it kind of left me in a situation where he's got this kind of like this coming turn, he's going to cast Spore Frog. Then next time he goes to use it, Undying is going to...
Undying.
Yeah, so I'm going to have this obnoxious sort of reoccurring problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, can't do shit anyway.
Like, I do think I've got a solution on the horizon, but it's going to take me a minute.
Yeah, the fact that he's at 1 life is the biggest help, though, because like all
Like
you
if-
need is something.
Like if I could just steal Conrad from you and just kill one of my own creatures.
Which is doable.
It is, just not with my hand.
You could also just steal Conrad and then swing at him.
Oh,
We'll
this
have
is
to
true.
pop the Spore Frog and he would die.
This is true.
Alternatively, you could steal Conrad and do the mill and see what happens.
My current plan is to try and get rid of Kynaios so his crap loses Undying.
Yeah. So it would at least cost him more to bring back Spore Frog every time.
Yeah. It would make it so that he can't bring it back every turn, which would buy me time to do some stuff. But we'll see.
Now, see, getting rid of Soothsaying makes for a very angry Evan.
No, I've actually looked deep enough into my library that I know what I'm getting, and I don't really need to rearrange it anymore.
That's nice.
It makes me happy that
Brian,
he's...
force a shuffle.
Actually, yeah, if you could, that'd be annoying.
I should have done this in a different order, but oh well.
So what do we got?
That's helpful.
Now, do you run the Snowlands for flavor, or do you actually need them for something?
I needed them initially. I don't anymore. After a mild adjustment to the deck, the one thing that actually gave a crap about them is no longer here. But they're pretty, so I'm not going to take them out.
Yeah, no, they definitely are pretty. I'm excited for, hopefully with the new set, Snowlands will come back and the price will drop.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I strictly need Snowlands, but they're useful in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Because 50 cents for basic, or I think it's like $3 or something in paper. Too much.
That's true.
Of course, then there's people who will spend $400 to $500 on a guy's cradle, so
I do know someone who may have made a decision like that.
yeah.
So here's the situation. That's going to do a little bit of damage. But because I baited Ryan into popping a Spore Frog at a slightly inopportune time, I'm taking it out of his graveyard in main phase 2, so he no longer has the ability to fog combat.
I would actually steal his Conrad instead of his Spore Frog.
I mean, he wins if I can't use Spore Frog.
Yeah, but with Sir Conrad, he can let you do Spore Frog all you want.
I'm going to take whatever I want, but the important thing is that shit's all gone. And because he popped the Spore Frog first, instead of letting it... Actually, no. I guess he was kind of over a barrel on that one. Either way, he's going to end up with it stuck in his graveyard at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's going to pull a Spore Frog out of his graveyard and put it into his hand off that, isn't he? Yep. That do be a lot of milling.
Wow.
I'm so happy they finally keyworded it that way. For the longest time, they just referred to it as like, put the top 2 cards of your library into the graveyard. And the reason players have called it mill for the last like 25 years is because in the first Magic expansion, there was a card called Millstone that did something along the lines of tap, target player puts the top card of their library into the graveyard. And so Millstone kind of became the shorthand for doing that effect. So there was milling to move a card from top of library to graveyard. Wizards then was stubborn and refused to use that as the keyword because it's not very flavorful. Well, like if I say, oh, my creature has flying, I mean, the intuitive nature of that combat mechanic tracks, right? Like you understand what that does. If I say it's flying and then you're like, oh, so things without flying can't reach it. Yep, that's it. Like flying.
But there's enough keyword text that don't have any intuitive nature.
Their goal is to make it all intuitive, but basically this is an example of them just being like, you know what, fine, you want it, have it.
Well, like Annihilator, that's intuitive, it makes sense.
It's not like you probably wouldn't guess it, but after having it explained to you once, you're kind of like, oh right, I get that. That tracks.
A good example, Sunburst.
Sunburst is one that they admittedly struggled with. There's a reason that mechanic hasn't come back.
There's nothing to do with it.
It was meant to be...
just sounds cool.
So here's the thing. It was flavorful because it took place on Mirrodin. And the whole thing is Mirrodin has 5 suns. One that represents each color of magic. And so if you spent more colors to cast the spell, you got Sunburst magic. If I'm thinking of the right thing. So flavorfully, it was there. But mechanically, it did, like, what the hell is... Okay, Sunburst? What does that do? Oh, nothing that has to do with any suns? Cool. Great. Have a great day. Like...
I mean, it's... flavorful in lore, yeah, it's cool.
I just passed turn without doing the thing.
If they're not gonna make the lore, like, there's no easily digestible place to get like all of the lore.
You are correct. Yeah, like there's some stories online for current sets, but like nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
It's been a big gripe of mine for ages. I want them to have like the place or something.
Mm-hmm. Like I know you have like on the Wizards website, you can visit like a hey all about Dominaria page, or like you can visit a lot of those things.
They used to do they used to have the books that came in the fat packs.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped doing that because it stopped being financially feasible according to them, but they charge enough that they're lying, but whatever.
Yeah.
But so they stopped doing those. They started doing them online. I remember seeing a professor video about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there should be a more convenient way for new players to get into the lore.
I would like that a lot. But at the same time, I understand that that's probably not a realistic request.
I mean, it's a tall task for sure, but at least make an effort.
For sure.
I mean, at least if they had it in one place, then if people wanted to dedicate the time, it'd be available to them.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things where I would go online to the Wizards website and I would download or otherwise read all of the stories that they put up, and around the time they switched to War of the Spark, the entire paradigm for it shifted, and I think they hired a professional author and were like publishing ebooks for it that you had to go buy. So that's actually around the time I stopped following the story because it wasn't like doable for me at that point. What you doing over there, Rye Guy?
I'm trying to see if there's any moves I have here. Sorry.
No, you're good. Just says waiting for RK34, but I'm looking at
That's
your board
me.
and I'm realizing that there is a little bit of a, I don't know, like a shield you've generated for yourself.
Yeah, I just have no way to actually win. Play that card. Goodness.
No, I'm curious because I haven't seen them. How do emblems work on Magic Online?
They put the symbol down kind of in your back row with your lands and artifacts, and it just names what the effect is.
Oh, okay.
So it's represented on board.
Sort of like the City's Blessing type thing.
Exactly like that, or like the Monarch. It gives you a representation of it on the battlefield that you can mouse over to see what it does.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Emblems are strong. Because at present, there's no way to do anything about them.
My understanding that that's kind of the intent, is that emblems are intended to just not be deal-withable. It's like if you get one, it's meant to be so...
that was the point of the command zone, but they've decided that doesn't matter,
well, to be clear, the command zone was not designed by Wizards, it was designed by a third party.
Which is fair, but I'm still salty about it.
I was hoping you.
Yep, I'm trying to keep the pressure on as best I can.
I mean, there's no reason for him to ever not swing at you. Best case scenario, you forget to pop Spore Frog. He wins.
Plus, it's been almost 4 hours since we went live, and I want to make sure I can get people to go to bed sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 5 turns since it should have been lethal.
That's true. That's true, but I don't think either Ryan or I are willing to concede on this one.
No, but also nothing's really happened in that time.
Mind's Dilation. That's a cool sounding card.
That's a cool
That much
performing
I
card.
hate Mind's Dilation so much. It's good, but I hate it.
It's a really good
Fantastic.
card, but it's frustrating to deal with.
Well, my problem is I tend to top deck a lot, and if I only have one card to cast.
Oh wow! So you can just
You cast a spell, and then I get a card.
Wow.
It doesn't do a lot to Spellslinger decks, but
Yeah, that's wow.
to everybody else it hurts.
Yeah.
That is something.
And most players tend to build decks that are generalized enough that it's actually worth it to steal their crap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, I just noticed you guys got below my time count.
Yeah. This has been going on for quite some time.
Coming.
Oh, it's a neat card.
I think
Nice card you got there, Adam.
finally cooked. This deck is, I enjoy it. There's just no way to win. I'm 57 cards deep and I don't have any way.
Well, there's a way to win. It's just if people take away your damage, it's with proper threat assessment, you can be shut off.
Yeah. Fortunately for you, or at least earlier, Jim kind of made himself the big threat, so proper threat assessment was to deal with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 100 mana and God knows what else.
Yeah, it was one of those like Jim's going infinite right now, or we're dealing with it right now, and it worked out. But then I feel bad because Jim's been out of it for how many? Let's not measure in turns. Let's measure in minutes. Jim's been out for like 30 minutes or so. I mean, I appreciate that you're sticking around. It's been a pleasure to have the commentary and the extra thoughts on everything. So thank you.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the most I can do. It's not going to do anything really, but.
The other thing that frustrates me about Mind's Dilation is it's always something that would have actually helped you.
Yeah, I mean, I've flipped a couple lands off of it, but it's also one of those things where, like, it's not uncommon for it to flip something really good like that.
Yeah, you don't need life gain. Goodbye.
That'll just make sure that shit doesn't get out of hand.
Alright. This is literally my last turn. Alright, whatever.
Gonna exile my graveyard.
I'm gonna do mine.
I was gonna say go for the flex and kill your own.
He's got Conrad, so all of his creatures that leave the graveyard will deal damage to you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
I have more creatures in my graveyard, so I figured swing for the fences.
I'm actually
And since he doesn't have anything in his graveyard that's really worth keeping.
I'm gonna hit 6 and just pass priority through the turn because I'm not gonna be able to do anything else this turn anyway. If you do as well, it should just gun down the stack. But I also don't want you to pass your turn if you have something else you're planning on doing this turn.
Well, you can also just auto-resolve Sir Conrad, or yield through Conrad.
That's true.
Triggers. Which, any deck I have Conrad in, I always do, because, my goodness.
You're down to 34, you're at 72, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
I think the best graveyard exile to pair with Conrad, though, is Tormod's Crypt.
Activate waste time.
I mean, that's like, what was it? The Brawl decks, I think they were?
Yep.
Conrad was the best card, and he wasn't a commander. He was in 3 of the decks, and he was pretty much...
Only got you to 40.
Just back to where we started.
That was pretty good.
I had that angel in my hand the whole time, and I was like, you know what? Here at the end, why don't I put it on top? I just have some fun with it.
That was fun times.
That was a good time, guys.
I'm surprised neither of you noticed I switched my avatar.
No, I noticed. I just didn't think to bring it up.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
All right. Well, it's like
Well,
1:30 a.m. I have
yeah.
had an absolute blast playing with you guys, but I also want to make sure that I'm trying to be a little responsible. So I am going to go ahead and shut things down for now, but I will catch you guys next time.
See you, gang. Fun times.
Ryan.
I'll see you. I'm jumping out of the call. I'll see you guys next time.
All right. See you, bud.
All right. So that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed getting to see those guys. Ryan's been trying to get back into the game, so you guys might see him on the channel a little more as we go forward, but I am going to go ahead and shut things down, and feel free to either I post all these things on YouTube. Feel free to put things in the comments or send me a message if you have any interest in seeing us trying to build any particular decks or themes. Other than that, I'll see everyone next time.